streets in the hood.
Saying every single word to every, like he was sitting there and I was like, yo, Colin is really hip hop. I forget.
What it good be? Hope this with it's your boy N.O.R.E.
What up? It's DJ EFN.
And this Military Crazy Raw podcast. I don't know why I keep saying
Drink
that.
Champs, baby.
It's Drink Champs, motherfucker. Make some noise! When I tell you, we started this show and we said we wanted to interview legends, people that came before us, people that paved the way for us. I said this to everyone that was here earlier. I said if I had an artist, I would put him through his school of being an MC. I watched this man rock a party like no one else could rock a party. I've watched this man. This when you say a icon, you say a legend, you say a person that has been in this game, monkey footing this motherfucker and going through it and doing it and continue to do it. He came late. 2 minutes late.
2 minutes
to me,
late.
To me,
That's early.
No, it's not. But we have the privilege of interviewing and getting young motherfuckers. Now, here's what's crazy. When I think of you, I think of West Coast. But when you Google you,
yes.
They say you're from Queens.
Of course I'm from Queens. Hollis and 211. Or 109th and 211th.
Okay, get it together.
No,
Okay.
109th and 211th.
Okay.
109th is here,
Okay.
211th is here, Hollis is here.
Okay.
So it's really the coast of Queens Village because after Francis Lewis, it's Queens Village and then the other side is Hollis.
On you.
No, but it's...
You got super Queens.
But I'm saying.
But that's what's crazy is one of my favorite moments in hip hop period. Was a record called All in the Same Gang, right? Where that West Coast unity.
Yes, sir.
Recently, I just seen Kendrick Lamar. He had put the West Coast together on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what's crazy about that. I'm such to these young guys, I'm such an old guy to them, that I looked and I didn't know that was actually rappers.
Oh, yeah.
So when I put it together, I was like, I didn't see this since All in the Same Gang.
Well, the funny thing, what Kendrick did on stage, and this is just me watching it and having a visceral reaction, it's the culmination of what we were trying to do with All in the Same Gang.
Wow.
Because he had different sets. He had made a big deal of saying, oh, you know, it's more than records now. It's bigger than me now. We have sets from all over the place or whatever, because that was the goal.
Wow.
Because Deuce is still dying, but Deuce was really dying at that point. And just to shine a light on it.
Right.
And the funny thing was that the man that put it together, Mike Conception, that put it together, for him...
All in the Same Gang?
Yes.
Mike Conception. Okay,
Yeah,
my man in the wheelchair,
yeah.
right?
Now the interesting thing about that, and I relate some of that to even Suge's experience,
Wow.
is that you got people that are outside the music business, and they're able to cultivate that into something really powerful inside the music business. I want to say it was Grand Jury Records that Mike had.
Oh, wow.
And so we put out All in the Same Gang, but he did stuff after that as well. So circling back, including someone like me from the East Coast, I don't know a lot about the West Coast, not involved in any gangs, but to get my perspective on a record like that shows some foresight, because I can easily see someone putting something like that together and say, oh, he ain't from out here. He don't know nothing about out here. People know who he is, but why do we want to hear what he has to say? And I still got 8 bars on the single. I got 16 bars on the long
Killer
version.
bars on there.
Yeah, hey.
It's bars.
Thank you, man. I've been touring a lot you know, the whole time. My stage muscles are strong. So.
Oh, sorry, did you say stage muscles?
My stage muscles.
I like that. Continue. I was telling people how good your show is. Okay, but continue.
Well, no offense, no DJ, no hype man. I open, so I have to literally just carry my tracks and just go and try and get the best show I can. But I had not done my same gang verse for years and years and years. And then I saw an artist do it. And I'm like, you know, an artist that was on the record do it. And I'm like, okay, I should get on. And I started doing it in my show, my longer shows. Now I got new music out. So it'll just be my 30 or whatever that I do that in. But for several years on this 90s tour, I've been doing my All in the Same Gang verse. And it just fits in, especially people having shorter attention spans or whatever. 16 bars is a whole record to them. You know what I mean? Whereas Bust the Move had 4 16s and all that other stuff. So, yeah, it's just... As the years go by, I see the power of that record. And as the years go by, I'm more proud of my involvement in it. It wasn't just a call and get on. And to even go further, me and Tone are the only 2 people that were in both the Self-Destruction video and All in the Same Gang video.
Yo, I did not notice that.
You guys were in Self-Destruction in the video
In the
itself?
video. Well, here's the thing. We both had multi-platinum records.
I don't remember you guys in that video.
They had a short scene with us in there. Interestingly enough, they wanted to put both of us behind a cell and had us saying the hook from behind the cell, and then somebody from back said, "Now we can't have them looking like that." So if there's a cut you've seen where I'm not in it or we're not in it, it may be because they took that out.
Because that cell part was with Just Ice, I think. Was that verse?
I don't even know, dude. I don't even. But the interesting thing is, this is a short period of time. I'm a New York kid.
Yes, sir.
Went out to L.A. Come back, and all my heroes are in the room. So I'm taking pictures, dude. I'm literally in where you should take
Instagram
pictures.
back then?
Please.
I'm fucking with you.
It's called Polaroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Polaroid. It's instant.
we barely had CDs back then.
Wow,
like CDs were new on my
Yeah, look,
phone.
I got your cassette.
Yeah,
right? It's on
exactly.
cassette.
Exactly. So I'm there taking pictures like a fan, annoying people, whatever. I come out for Same Gang, and I'm a peer. They're like, all right, well, where do we need Young to be? Blah, blah, blah. Make sure his verse goes here. Dr. Dre producing me. It's a total different experience.
Right.
So I culminate that by saying, if I stayed in New York, no offense to New York, but if I stayed in New York, you never would have heard of me.
Damn.
I couldn't have wrote Wild Thing there. I couldn't have wrote.
You're going too fast.
But I want to.
I mean, I'm sorry.
But since we started with this record, I want to stay on here
Yeah,
a
go
second.
ahead.
Okay.
Was there any awkwardness? Because think about the type of record it is. It's about LA culture. It's about actually territory in a sense.
Yeah.
And MCs could be territorial. Was there any awkwardness you not being maybe from their perspective of the culture, being on that record talking about the culture?
Okay. Pretty much everybody on that record I had played with. Everybody on that record I'd shared a stage with.
Right.
So even NWA, DOC, Cube. I mean, I knew Cube from NWA. I knew Pac from Digital.
Right.
Like, I'm knowing these people at the beginnings of their career, and I'm at the beginning of mine. It just turned out at the time that when Bust the Move hit, I'm got my penthouse in West Hollywood, and I'm just there. I'm not coming,
Right.
But I always got respected for what I did on the mic. So to answer your question, when I came on, they wanted to see not only my perspective, but how I would do it, and that I wasn't just mailing it in.
Right.
That it wasn't just like, oh, I'm Young MC, and I'm saying my name a bunch of times, I'm saying Bust the Move a bunch of times, and I'm showing how famous I am on this record. No, I saw brothers killing other brothers, because that's what I'm seeing.
Is everybody recording together?
No, oh.
Separately?
See, you asked the good questions. I show up to the studio, and it's Dre, one other dude. They let me in the door. My man's looking behind me. You know what I mean? Because there were dudes on that record, to your point, what happened with Kendrick, there were dudes on that record that you didn't want in the same room.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I said territorial. Literally territorial.
Yeah, even the video shoot. The part of the reason why the video shoot was cool is because Conception had security all over.
Wow.
You know what I
and
mean?
not hood security,
and
real
he
security.
didn't use-
FOI?
I don't know about FOI, but
Okay.
some of it was hood security.
And remember, they used green and another color. They didn't use blue and red in the video. They used green and something else, and yellow, I think, or something.
Probably because, dudes would get triggered by
Right.
seeing colors. Absolutely. I remember, I hate to even bring this up. I remember when I was younger, I was a woman I was seeing had talked me into wearing a red suit, a red jumpsuit. to one of my shows, and it was at the Casa.
What was she thinking?
She wasn't thinking. And I don't know any better. Right. So I'm literally getting ready to do my show, and some shit breaks out, and dudes are standing in front of me so they don't see my suit before I go on stage. And then from that experience and other experiences, I'm like, okay, you shouldn't wear this here, you shouldn't wear that there. I didn't know. I'm literally, my entrance to LA was on USC campus. So I'm only finding this out as I went on. Having said that, I know that dudes have been looking out for me, you know what I mean? And I want to give them a shout out. Just on GP. I've had a pretty good experience in this business, seeing all that I've seen and being around all the people that I've been around. But like same gang, like I said, as the time goes on, I've really cherished that experience. Like that's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, it's an incredible record.
It definitely was. I want to tell you a funny story. I consider him my friend, Jamie Lefrak.
Oh God, yeah.
And Jamie Lefrak, right? And I'm in his house, and I didn't realize how rich he was until I got to his house, right? And then I realized, I said, this motherfucker's really rich, right? But so he's telling me the whole time, he's like, I'm gonna blow your mind out with these performances. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, you don't want me to tell you? I'm like, nah, I'm more of an organic guy. Just let me just go there and let me just see it. I seen Tim, when you got on stage, sing every word I was so impressed. And then he says to me, this is my high school. I had a couple of drinks. I thought he said he went to high school with you.
No.
So I'm like, I've been running around saying, Jamie Lefrak and Young MC went to school together, motherfuckers. And what he was saying was, he was saying, this is my high school. This is my whole experience. And I thought that was so dope for me to see a person of that caliber fan out. And I'm gonna tell you who else was fanning out. I don't know if you seen it. You said hi to him, was DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled, when you got on stage, I was mad that DJ Khaled knew just as much as words I knew. I was like, man, you better stop it. But
the whole lip sync battle.
Do you understand that these kids nowadays, records go away?
Oh yeah.
It's a disposable.
Oh yeah.
And you have a record that's over 30 years?
It's 35 years.
35 years.
Yeah, 35
and they still... To me, I just watched you that day, and I've been to a couple of your shows. I snuck in a couple of times, and I just see that, and that's. If I was if a young artist was to come up to me right now, I would say this is who you should follow. This is how it should be, but then you got these people who got records right now. It just go away. When you hear records like that just go away. What do you think?
It's the industry. I mean, it went from a physical product like you have, where you see a picture and you see liner notes and you see all these things that it's something that you own of the artist, to streaming and downloads, and it's air.
Right.
You disconnected.
Right. So what is the artist? What is the fan commitment, or what is the listener's commitment to the artist today?
Right.
2 minutes so you can get the stream money, a minute and a half. And they listen to what? 70, 80, 100 songs a day. Right. So how do you expect them to commit to you enough to say, okay, I'm gonna come out to a show? Then the real money's in the shows. And then you got, but the shows aren't necessarily as important to the labels unless they have a 360 deal. So you got the artists, for whatever reason, not putting the emphasis on show performance as they should. Because the records become disposable. Who guested on it? Who did the track? Where's the sample from? It's like, for me, I'm looking at like every record I make, if it's the last song I ever make, I want it to be the best song I ever make. Every show that I do, for the most part, every show that I do, especially publicly, I want it to be the best show that I can physically do. Because I don't want somebody seeing it saying, oh, you know what I mean? My analogy is this: I got new music out. So I'm a 57-year-old rapper.
That's right.
The song out now is called Loose, fun parts following behind it. But I'm a 57-year-old rapper. I equate that to driving on the highway and you get into some traffic and you see that there's an accident on the side of the road and people are slowing down. They're slowing down to look over, see if they see a leg sticking out. That's how they look at a 57-year-old rapper's career. Because I would look at it like that. Like, what is he doing making records like that? But I've been on stage so much that I love it. I mean, I love it. The idea, it's the first time I've made music with the stage in mind. Like, how is this going to translate to the crowd?
Like, meaning you made the record for the stage?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's deep.
Absolutely. Usually you make the record saying, oh, well, what'll it do for radio and what's the genre and is it, you know, just all those things. And then you got to worry about the short attention span. So the set that I did probably is a 20-minute set and I probably had 8 songs in it, you know, the one that you saw. Because it went from 3 verses to 2 verses on some to 1 verse on some records where I'm just bang, 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 bang. So that if there's a record you don't like, just wait a minute. It'll be like Miami weather. Just wait a minute. It'll, you know what I mean? That'll change to something that you like. So I went into making these new songs with that in mind. Like, okay, you know, 3/16s are out. So let's go 16, 12, 8. Let's go 16, you know, 16, 12, and then repeat something from the first verse. Just to reinforce things, but also then I know I can do the whole record on stage as opposed to saying, okay, what verse am I going to cut out to do this on stage? So yeah, man, I mean, that if I was in any other business, I'd be behind a desk, CEO or C something O, knowing so much in my experience and all that. In this business, they want to dispose of you in your late 30s, to be honest. So I'm just looking at it in a different way, approaching it.
But here's what's ill about your show. Like I said, I've been to others. I have a dilemma when it comes to me doing music. Like, my DJ literally has to go and look at the crowd, right? And my DJ has to say, okay, we're gonna be Latino tonight. Or we're gonna be, you know, we're gonna be hardcore. He has to look at the crowd. You are one of them artists that I don't think have to do that at all.
Yeah, well, not from the stage. I try and do my do my homework before I get on stage.
Right.
But I have a little player that I use that, and it literally has about 30 to 40 different show versions and lengths in there. Oh, so literally I can look and say, okay, this is more of a dance crowd. This is more of a, you know, not even an urban crowd, but, you know, I'll do more mid-tempos. Or these are people that are more in this kind of thing. And I'll have a set and a set length that'll appeal to them.
Man, that's professional.
Yeah. So
that's a well-seasoned stage artist.
Dude, this 90s tour, I've been on this 90s tour since 2015. And we're probably, you know, even with COVID, we're talking between 400 and 500 shows. In 2016, I did 110 shows myself. Coolio, God rest him, did like 150 in a year, because they were going Thursday to Sunday every week.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I would do three days a week and 4 days a week sometimes, but I still was well over 100 for that year. So in doing that, I started with CDs. I'm like, oh yeah. Then somebody put the CD player too close to the speakers, and shit started jumping. And went, oh, gotta find something. Find my digital player, and just, if I can do it, I went in the studio, mastered all the shows, did all the show lengths, put them in, named them. So literally, I know, okay, how much are we doing tonight? What's the crowd like? Blah blah blah, and pick the show and go. And that way, I know what I'm doing. I literally have this thing where when I'm driving to the airport, I rehearse the show that I'm doing that night. I've done Bust a Move thousands of times. Still going to rehearse it on the way to the airport, you know, just to have it in my short-term memory for when I get on stage the next time.
and it's crazy because for some reason, it's like Bust a Move is like, it's like a white boy anthem too. Like, the white people love that shit.
I guess. I just saw it in a prescription drug commercial the other day.
Really?
Yeah, my boy had sent me a video of it, and I was like, okay. I mean, I think it was like for an eye, it was literally like irritable bowel syndrome drug, like Bust a Move.
I didn't put you into the...
No.
But you got me with that one. You got me.
Hey, that's good placement.
That's a good placement.
But the funny thing is, if you know what pharmaceutical companies go through in terms of what they pick so that it doesn't affect their brand.
Right.
You know, I'm not even thinking about my brand as much as like to get to that point.
Right.
You know, with all the places that the record's been. I could tell you stories about different people that have said it and used it, and stories that I've seen and all that just adds to it, as opposed to, you know, one placement being a representation of everything I do.
So please tell me that all your business was correct when you created that record, so that the publishing that's
Okay.
been generated is yours.
Listen, from the moment that was his number one question.
Okay.
Plus the records that you've written, but let's just stick on
Okay.
Bust a Move right now.
Okay. Literally, when I wrote Bust a Move, my original record deal gave away my publishing. But I knew this, right?
me.
I knew this. Well, hold on.
It hurts me deeply.
I knew this as I was making the record.
Right.
So
You knew that you didn't have your publisher.
I knew I didn't have. I mean, that's just what it was. You know what I mean? You sign a deal that they're
Right.
paying.
You
for
knew
the-
what deal you were signing.
Right. But I'm learning more as time goes on. So Bust a Move was the last record I make. So I write Bust a Move, and I read it to the label owners over the phone, and they say they like it, and I say, good. Well, I'm going to sell it to this person over at RCA unless you give me back publishing on this in the next two records. I got publishing on the first 3 singles just for doing that. So.
Oh,
And I'm in college at the time. I'm doing this from a dorm room.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I looked at it like, this is mine. I knew what it was going to be. And at that point, Tones Records had come out, or at least Wild Thing had come out. And obviously I didn't have publishing on that. So I'm
you wrote Wild Thing?
I wrote.
Well, let's wheel it back. How you
sorry.
meet Tone. We got plenty of time. We got to talk these things through.
I'm sorry, everything intertwined. So if
Right.
it seems like I'm all over the place,
No, we with you.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, we're gonna go with you. Don't worry.
Okay.
So hold up.
I'm gonna have a drink.
Because when EFN rolls up, EFN has. Look, can we look at that tape?
I know
And
him,
these are things that I copped when I was a kid.
No, those two. That one.
Tone Loc?
Tone Loc. And I'm like, why do you have Tone Loc?
Yeah, he didn't
You
know.
didn't know?
I didn't
No, he
know.
didn't.
And he goes, you didn't know? And I go, no. And he goes, he wrote.
Well, all right.
So you got to break it
Okay.
down, please. Thank you.
Tone was on Delicious with me. I think I had made Principal's Office already, and ironically, that was supposed to be my first single. And
That's in my notes.
I'm glad that it wasn't. But they gave Tone the track to Wild Thing, and they had him write some stuff, and they didn't feel it was, it was a little too raunchy for what they wanted to do, especially with a rock track trying to, cross over on radio. Right. So they come to me, and I am like, full on New York MC, like nobody writes for anybody else. What are you talking about? And especially because I've seen Wild Thing blow up. I'm like, when am I coming out? What do I gotta, what I mean? Or rather, no, because this is really in the writing of Wild Thing. I just felt that I was waiting a long time.
Had you already written and recorded?
No, Bust a Move was written and recorded after Wild Thing and Funky Cole Medina were not only made, but had come out.
Okay.
So that's why I'm confusing a little bit. But basically, I'm like, why am I waiting so long? I get signed in '87. My record doesn't drop, till almost 2 years later. You're at me, in '88. Know How barely come out. They just got on the island, and they want me to They want me to write for Tone.
And this is Delicious Vinyl.
This is Delicious. Yeah, this is Delicious Vinyl. So I say, okay. I said, fine. Give me a half hour. I'll give you a record. Literally. Talked to him on the phone. 35 minutes later, I gave him 4 verses. And 3 of the verses are verbatim in Wild Thing.
Wow.
Now, me and Tone have always been cool. But at the time, the label had told Tone that they had wrote it. Right? Because they felt that he wouldn't take it if he knew that I wrote it.
The label said they wrote it? Like literally the guys that own the label?
Yeah. Yeah, they said that. Now, mind you,
Wild.
I mean,
No pun intended.
Yeah. I mean, the liner notes, all that isn't out, so he can't tell and see. So we spoke and he, found out
Right.
that I did it. He was cool with it. And once again, as years are going on, we see how incredible that relationship is and what we've meant to each other's lives, because he credits me, obviously, for writing some of his biggest hits, but I credit him for showing me the blueprint. Because if Bust a Move is coming out and there's no Wild Thing and no Funky Cole Medina, I don't know what the ceiling is.
Right, because those are huge records.
I get to be, at that point, I'm like, going in circles. When me and Tone, when Wild Thing was finished, we hoped they would sell 50 to 100,000 records. He's like, he wanted to buy a car and I wanted to pay off my student loans. That was literally the conversation that we
Those are
had.
the goals.
Yeah.
Right.
4 million. 4 million singles. Now, mind you, 4 million singles to the point where the label's like, maybe we should stop pressing singles. Maybe we should start pressing albums.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. The only thing that could even come close to it was We Are the World. That was the only thing that was close to it. So that's That's Wild Thing. Busta Move stayed on the Billboard 200 charts for 40 weeks. 40 weeks.
Okay.
Outlasted my second single, outlasted my third single. It's just like, when you have success like that, I would not trade that period from mid 88 to mid 90. I would not trade that period for anybody else in the world in terms of the experience of what the impact we had on hip hop, the music business. You know, my Grammy was the first televised Grammy. All of that stuff happening in that period of time. It's like, dude, I can't be mad or bitter about anything having experienced that. And when me and Tone get together and we talk, it's great, you know. And on that note, I'm gonna lead the conversation a little bit.
Let's go.
I gotta shout out Kyle Eustace.
Okay. Because
Kyle is a writer that knows effing really well and helped make this happen. But she did an interview with me and Tone where some of the stuff started coming out, and she gets stuff all online, and it was
shout out to her, man.
It just really opened my eyes, because how I just throw the names around. These are my friends. These are my life experiences. But other people react because people, you know, people are legends. I don't consider myself a legend, but a lot of people are, you know, that I've been around are legends. One last thing, I'm gonna blow your mind. Guess who my first DJ was? Battle Cat.
Oh shit.
Battle Cat?
Battle Cat.
Oh,
Battle
wow.
Cat. The Battle Cat.
Wow.
He was out with me, and then we couldn't find him. And from what I heard, I've not discussed this with him, but when I heard he got locked up, or there was something he got jammed up in, and 3 weeks went by and I had to hire somebody else. So I hired, I want to say at that time, Julio G, another mix master.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, Julio G from the radio
Legend,
station?
yeah.
Oh my God, this is my man.
The mix masters, when we were coming out on Delicious, N.O.R.E, who's a mix master, that's Tone's DJ to this day.
Right.
And then Tony G, who's like the godfather of all of them, he was the DJ for the majority of the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when Tony G, it was too much on the road for Tony G, so we literally had an audition. My man Eric, you know, won the audition. He was my DJ till I stopped having DJs.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But it goes back to that much. If you saw the shirt that I was wearing in here, it's the little bird record player. Like, that's how I look at that's how I look at it. Like, old school. It comes from the vinyl for me. It comes from that's the essence. It doesn't come from instruments as much as it comes from.
How did you meet Battle Cat?
I mean, I want to say he was a mix master. So if I'm going to K-Day,
right?
You know,
That's how you connect. Okay.
They literally had
radio,
a stable, a stable of the best DJs and the best known DJs in LA. And for a lot of these cats, it's the first time to really get out and travel. You know what I mean? To with all the places we're going. So yeah.
Wow.
Now, who is that on your shirt?
Okay. This is an AI representation of me.
Okay.
On stage.
I thought it was you and Kanye West had a baby.
No.
Okay.
And this right here is Disco Teresa. This is my AI character. I know you guys have discussed AI.
Yeah.
So it's an AI character. It's like she's like the label mascot. She's on all my new records. So I'll picture it like this.
You got too deep.
No,
you went above our head.
No. If you look at a label tag or a producer tag. You know, mustard on a beat hoe. You know,
did you just say mustard on the beat hoe?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue.
Maybach music, all that.
Yeah.
Me, especially during COVID, have a lot of downtime. I'm like, okay, if you took this, first thing, I didn't even know like the Maybach music was actually a person. I thought it was a voice program like Sirius.
Right.
So I said, okay, if you took that and you fully animated it, where it was literally an element in the track that could answer you, what would that be like?
Wow.
So I created it on the audio side, and then we got a video that's pretty much all AI for Loose that creates it on the video side. And I literally, as the singles go on, I'm having the AI character kind of like co with me on the records.
It's crazy.
Yeah. When you hear it, it's dope. And I won't even lie. Like that's the thing that's motivating me to make records at this age. Because I can be like, whatever. Especially if you're doing the same thing over and over again. If I want to get through 16s, I'm like, I got to do something that's interesting. So for me, that's interesting. Disco Theory, Disco Teresa, all that.
We had will.i.am on here, and he was describing this AI shit. And then he had his AI turn British on us. It was spooky.
Yeah, for me, I just wanted, I'm very rudimentary, I don't want it to imitate anybody. Right. I don't want it to be anybody. I want it to be an element in my music. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to be.
So as an old school artist, you're accepting AI. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't accept it. Like, especially what's going on right now. You know, Drake actually
Well,
did.
it depends on how you accept it.
And
I'm sure you don't want AI to start just generating music
No.
and X out the artist.
I had people come to me like, yo, I'll make 100 songs a day. You want to make a song? I'm like, no.
Right.
I'm using it for a specific purpose, for a specific reason, in ways that someone hasn't used it before.
Right.
But all that stuff with imitating voices and without the estate's permission, I'm not with that.
Right.
And that's not something I would use it for. I use the technology in my mind to make the music better. And it's kind of interesting because one of my weird quirks that I have is that when we were working on 24-track tape, I literally could have all the tracks memorized and know that we had enough or didn't have enough before we even laid a single beat down. So now I'm thinking in 3 dimensions when I'm making a record. Like, okay, if I leave a space here, I could have the AI say this. If I leave a space there, or if I could have the AI say this and lead me, blah, blah, blah. So being able to think, it's kind of spurred me on in terms of how I'm writing. So
it's like being in a group and the AI is you're the member in the group.
Yeah, kind of, but it's not. It's funny. I got when I put the record out, I got a comment online like, "Oh, you signed Disco Teresa. What other artists are you going to sign?" I'm like, "She's not an artist. she's not even a not even a she. You know what I mean? Right. It's just like it's an element that I wanted to put in music. Like I said, like I haven't seen people use before, but I still want to have my artistry be the forefront of all of it.
I want to ask you, because my engineer peeped it when I walked in. When I walked in and I was telling everybody, and I was like, yo, I bet he has a different version of Tupac.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I love is people that met Pac prior to him going to death row. Because, I know Geminis.
Yeah.
What the?
Jesus, relax. But I know Gemini, what I'm trying to say is, like, it's 2 different people, right? But you, what I like to say, probably know the original version of Pac.
I knew Pac as a member of Digital.
Right.
Okay, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna take you on a little trip.
We got off boarding pass. Let's go.
This goes to one of the main reasons I don't drink today.
Okay.
When I was a kid, 11, 12 years old, I had a liver disorder, went into the hospital, lost a bunch of weight. They told me not to drink in my teens.
Right.
So by the time I was able to drink in my early 20s, I drank a little bit, didn't like the feeling of not being in control of my body and just where my mind was, so I stayed away from it. So years went by, and normally, if I was in a situation and I was offered a drink, I just wouldn't take it. Then one time I was in a circle where I just couldn't turn it down. Bottle was being passed. And I think this is the only time in my life that I've taken a bottle from somebody. Gentleman passed the bottle to me and said, we're going to toast this person, right? And it's the same person, by the way, that I saw do the All in the Same Gang verse. So I take the drink.
And it's Hennessy.
It's something sweet. So it may be Hennessy, but there's a bottle passed around.
Just blaming on Hennessy, not on alcohol, period.
Right.
But continue.
The person who passed me the bottle was Shock G.
Rest in peace.
The person that I was toasting was Tupac.
Wow.
And that's probably 20 years ago, and that's the last drink that I've taken.
So your last drink you ever had is with Shock G and Tupac? God damn it. That's kind of like a legendary drink.
A proper drink.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's a personal choice. First it was health, then a personal choice. And now I'm not going to start drinking now if, I put it in that perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean? And once again, my heart hurts, man. Knowing Tupac, I knew Tupac as a member of Digital. So Eli and Money B and, you know what I mean? I knew him as a member there. He had told an interesting story, and because Tupac would, after his passing, he would come back to me. I was performing a newer record at an elementary school, and some kids had come up to me, and they said, we saw Tupac, and we asked him about this new fast style of rhyming that we're hearing all over the radio. And he said, it's cool. I like these artists. I like, those people. But Young MC created that style. Wow. And these are little kids coming and telling me this. So I was like, wow, man. It's like, I didn't know, because I wasn't terribly close to him. We didn't hang out, but I would see him at the shows, like I'd see other people. He was always cool. It was always cool. But you knew that there was something there when he could break free. Shock was a great guy. Artistically, he was dominating. So there was a lot that other artists in Digital, may have wanted to do, but the vision of Shock kind of controlled digital, and it was very successful.
Right.
So when Tupac went and did his thing, I was like, yo, I've never been in a group, but I can only imagine having stuff in me that I can't get out in this group that I can get out on my own. So my whole vision of Tupac was his ability to express himself, you know, musically, politically, all those things, you know, and to see that, you know, come to fruition. From someone that I knew that was in the group.
Did you guys interact after he broke free from digital, and like how were those interactions?
I mean, when I saw him, it was cool. I think I'd seen him with Sugar a couple times, and it was always cool. It was always love. I'm like Switzerland, dude. I just
you seem like Switzerland. Yes.
No, you know,
you got no drama.
Well, no drama, and also my aggression is on the mic. So like anybody can say whatever they want about me, but they'll never, at least honestly, question what I do on a microphone, even in my 50s.
Right.
So like that's always been my approach. I could have done something else. I have a college degree.
Right.
You know what I mean? I easily could have done something else, but I have not only a love for this, but I know I'm good at this.
Right.
So one of the big things, when I first came out to LA, there were other guys that came from New York, and they get up on stage, yeah, New York this, New York that, and I'm thinking, these people are paying.
Right.
These people, you know, they want to big up their own place. This is before LA hip hop got really big. This is in the, you know, Toddy T, Ice-T, Bataram.
This is when people go on stage and say, it's Brooklyn in the house, and everybody go crazy.
Yeah.
Like King T was probably around.
Yeah. So this is 87.
Right.
And my thing was, these people accepted me. So I'm not going to go up here and say what my neighborhood's from. I'm not in my neighborhood right now. I'm in LA.
Right.
So part of the reason I think I got accepted for, you know, being part of All in the Same Gang, because they knew that if I was going to claim anywhere, I was going to claim LA.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if I wasn't in the streets and wasn't doing any thug shit or whatever, I would. You know, if you said, just like you thought, I'm a West Coast artist. People, I never get up and say, yo, I'm from the East Coast. It's not, I mean, I'll tell people what my background is, but I'm not going to bang the table and disrespect the place that's basically, you know, created my career.
Right.
If, like, once again, if I stayed in New York, you never would have heard of me. Just wouldn't have. You know how New York is.
Yes, I do.
The older dude, I would do block parties and I'd try and break into a new cadence and like, no, you don't rhyme like that. You got to rhyme just like this. It's like, come on, man. And I'm coming up at a time where you literally have all of hip hop. If you take a subway map and just extend the right side out to Long Island, every artist you know is on that subway map. That's how I grew up.
Was there anybody on Self-Destruction that wasn't from New York? I don't think so.
No.
Or from the tri-state area?
If they were, they didn't claim it.
But on Same Gang, you and Def Jeff that I could think of.
Yeah, Def Jeff's in New York, yeah.
Because he's not, he wasn't from LA.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't peep that neither.
But see, that to me, that's the brilliance of Conception. That he was like, I want everybody on there. I want all these, you know, all these viewpoints, so that anybody who's listening who isn't familiar can have something to hold on to or something that they can identify with in terms of a path of looking at it. So I'm in front of the, you know, most lily white crowds in the last, you know, couple of years doing Same Gang, and I got to do Same Gang. And then I'll be some places and people pull me to the side. Yo, I'm glad you did that verse. We don't hear that record too often. So it's like, yeah.
Go ahead. And I was gonna say, did you ever feel, because it seemed like the era that you're coming out in, this is kind of like the beginning of what some people might say is the golden era. Late 80s going into the 90s, right?
I would say most people would say that's the
All right.
No, because some people put it more into the 90s.
I'm going to stop both of you right there.
Okay.
No offense.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
The golden era, what someone considers a golden era depends on where they're from.
True.
If you're in New York, your golden era starts earlier. If you're in the West, it starts a little later. If you're in the South, it starts even later than that.
I'm in the South.
Damn, I didn't be.
I'm in the South, but
you can't be in the South saying that your golden era started in 85. You can't.
No, not mine. For me.
No, not you personally. I'm just saying a person in the South is not going to say that their golden era started in 85, 86. Whereas if you're in New York and Run DMC is out, that could be part of your golden era.
That's part of your golden era. But if you're from the South, it's party starts with Uncle Luke, right?
But I mean, I don't think it should be regional. I think if you're talking about the consensus of hip hop, a lot of people put it like 88 to like 93, 94, something like that. If you're putting it within 10 years.
I guess, but it's influenced by regions. So you go earlier than 88 from East Coast. You go later than 93 from the South and from the West. That's my point, is that people throw around this term golden era, and that is a regional, I honestly think that's a regional distinction. That's not something you can say all of hip, because all of hip hop has been regional. It's becoming less regional now.
Right. But
during then, no internet, it was regional.
Well, it depends, because you could have been only looking at hip hop through the scope of what you got, which mainly was coming out of New York at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So a regional artist outside of New York is not going to say, oh, you know, when Eric B. as president came out, that I consider that the golden era. No, what Eric B. as president influenced in that region, that's where their golden era starts.
Okay.
That's what I.
That's a great point.
That's what. That's
I think it could be debatable. I think
it can be debatable, but I can see where he's coming from.
I understand where you're coming.
Yeah.
But my point being is that, and again, this might be debatable as well, because I'm young at the time. But the perspective was that diehard hip hop heads looked at anybody that went commercially, you know, on the radio as like selling out. The Hammer thing. Did you get any of that backlash that Hammer got?
I got some of it, and to even go before, Tone came before me, and I remember people saying that Tone sounded like a broke Rakim. I remember that, and this is before.
Wow.
This is before.
That's crazy.
And that's my man, dude. That's like, but he's like blood to me. So I'm hearing that, and I'm like, but this is before he sells 4 million records. And
he wasn't broke after that 4 million.
Not only that, but I have a saying: usually people that talk shit ain't done shit.
I want to make some noise for that saying.
So,
yeah.
So a lot of the stuff I would hear wouldn't be coming from artists.
Right.
Like there could be an artist whose music I don't like. I'm not going to say something to disrespect him because I know the struggle. Mm-hmm. So seeing someone sell as many records as Tone did, and seeing, you know, what other artists from other regions, when records were coming up after mine, I wasn't hating on it saying it wasn't me. I'm like, good for hip hop. Mm-hmm. The day after I won my Grammy, I wake up in the morning, I got to come down and do press. I'm literally still wearing a suit jacket. I come in front of this British reporter, I think she was of Indian descent, and she looks at me, she says, oh, I'm surprised you don't have your Grammy around your neck on a chain.
I love your impression, by the way.
He's not an impression. He's by way of London. Show off for dreams. He's like you. By way of London, Jamaican as well.
That's why they keep calling you your cousin.
The island is so small, it could be. But the thing is, I'm coming down and I'm trying to represent, and I get that. Mm-hmm. And this is me. I'm standing next to Bruce Hornsby. I'm standing next to all these other people. And they treat me as a peer, especially the people that know that I wrote for Tone. Right. They're like, yo, this is a real artist. This may be a different genre. He may not be singing, whatever, but he's selling real records and this is real stuff. So it's like more media and more, you know, hoopla in terms of the stuff that you get backlash from. I didn't really pay it any mind. You know what I mean? Because once again, it's, especially now with social media, it's ridiculous. Right. You can just sit Cheetos, mom's basement, type, and you're supposed to be on the same platform as someone's out there doing stuff.
Right.
Come on, man.
Now, because you came from the era where people were still calling hip hop a fad. People were still saying that. I remember the Biggie Smalls line. Did you ever hear that hip hop will make it this far? And it's like, I know it's a cliche type of thing, but you now got to see it turn into business.
Yeah.
Like it went from being about true school to now it's all about money. Everyone wants to be rich or whatever, but now it's a business. Did you ever think that hip hop would turn into like a business and less about the culture?
I always knew that the business side of it would evolve, but I always felt the culture would remain. Mm-hmm. So just because it's not the biggest selling record doesn't mean that it's not something that keeps the culture going. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's always been my approach. It's like, I have certain records before Bust a Move came out, dudes would tell me that, Let Them Know and My Name Is Young and Know How, and, there's certain records that were more culture focused. That
resonated.
That resonated more with the culture. Bust a Move came out, did its thing, and changed my life. So I'm never going to say anything negative about it. But I try and make a point of showing that I took part in the development of the culture, especially of West Coast hip hop. Right. I've had really influential artists after me come up to me and say that, the impact that I've had on them because I was a good rapper and I was saying that I was from LA. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of guys that they were a good rapper. They wouldn't, they would claim any place but LA, but they're in LA making money.
Because that's how it was for a lot of regions at that time.
Yeah, but for me, that was disrespectful. If I'm here and you guys are paying me and I'm living, I'm doing a casa, Skateland, World on Wheels, Billboard Live, Florentine Gardens, you know what I'm saying? Whiskey, Roxy. I mean, those are the places I'm playing.
You haven't been to every one of those clubs.
But,
I wish. I was too young at that time.
but that's what I'm saying. Those are the places that I kind of cut my teeth. So I can't, go from there to saying, oh, but I started rapping in a crew in New York.
Right.
I mean, there was an evolution that took place, and I saw my growth, and I really learned the business being in LA. So you say it turned into a business. It did turn into a business because the money was there.
Yeah.
At that point, I have an economics degree.
Right.
I'm not going to have somebody counting my money for me.
Right.
I mean,
Why?
it seems like you came in at business already because you were already writing records for somebody else. It wasn't like you came in as your own MC.
Yeah. I mean, I signed as my own MC.
Right.
I didn't sign as a writer. The writing stuff came because they saw how I wrote for myself as an MC, and so Marvin would be good to tell the story on Wild Thing. A lot of times, rappers now, I guess it's expected. Oh, this producer has a beat. This beat is so hot. I'm gonna run and do this. I literally never asked for a beat change on any record. Okay, this is the beat. This is the title. Let's go. I mean, I'm talking Wild Thing, Funky Cole Medina. There's a third record called Showtime that's supposed to be about the Lakers that never came out. By the way, that was supposed to be the third single, but that never came out.
And didn't make the album.
Yeah, it did make
For
the
you
album.
or for Tone?
No, for Tone.
Okay.
For Tone.
Right.
But I remember because I had written the first. I think I still have my rhyme book written in pencil.
Okay.
Because it didn't, wouldn't fade.
Right.
But just sitting down, making those, seeing what they did, it's like I can't look back on that and hate it. I look back on that and say that's an amazing time that won't come back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my background and the kind of the batteries in my back to keep me going now is looking back then and knowing, I'm capable of that, or I'm capable of being, in that space. I try and find a level of reality knowing it's like kind of like having a first girlfriend, that it doesn't really matter, down the line how she looked. It's that she was your first girlfriend. So like Bust a Move, Wild Thing, some of these records were the first girlfriend for a lot of people in hip hop. They just were.
She got finger popped.
Parents, yeah, no shit. Parents wouldn't let them listen to the stuff with curses in it. Oh, but we were able to listen to your record.
Right.
So, it's like.
Do you feel you got enough credit for, because you obviously broke down a lot of barriers for hip hop at the time. Like, I'm assuming, what records, do you remember any of the records? There had to be MTV records for your video.
Oh, yeah. No.
In terms of hip hop.
The reason, all right. I think I had started before MTV Rap started. Don't get me wrong with that. But
That's a bar right there.
I have to
That's a
look
bar.
back, but I want to say that I know I was putting out some records before MTV Rap started. I know Let 'Em Know was my first single, and I was hyped when Red Alert played it. So I know he was there.
Wow.
But in terms of getting credit, it was a dynamic thing. It was growing, and I just wanted to be acknowledged that I was there. You know what I mean? Like, whatever credit I'm gonna get, like history is told by the winners. You know what I mean? So if people, I saw your interview with DOC and with other folks, the Dog Pound, and a lot of the stuff they're talking about, I know. A lot of the people they're talking about, I know. So I'm happy knowing that I was there. And if my name ever comes up, then I'm hoping something positive will be said. But I was there, and I felt that I gave a good contribution to it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, our show is about giving people flowers while they're alive, where they can smell them, or their trees where they can inhale them, their thoughts where they can think them, and their drinks where they can drink them. We always quote Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg says it's better than the Grammy because it comes from his people, and this is what we want to do. So many times in our culture, people they don't appreciate each other, and we want to break that mold, and we want to say how great you are because it is real. It's really an honor to honor you.
Thank you, man. Well, I would say
that was hard, right? So we wanted to do this so bad.
I will say that I've won a Grammy,
right?
But on a lot of levels, I'll appreciate this more.
Yeah. Okay, my bad.
It's all right.
He's picking us up.
Yeah, on a lot of levels, I appreciate this more because this is for a lifelong,
Yes.
This is 37 years of work.
Yes,
you know
that's
what
right.
I mean? So to be recognized, I'm telling my friends,
right.
Yo, I'm going on Drink Champs. I'm going, yo, shout me out, blah, 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 blah. So.
Well, big up your friends, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. I think it's time for quick time slime.
Let's go.
All right. Now you're not drinking, so but we're gonna give you the honor.
You get a designated drink
of having a designated drinker, so you can actually look at probably anybody in the audience. He's always the designated drinker, Sonny D.
The dude that
but this is.
Charlie should be designated drinker.
Who wants it?
Charlie, you can drink.
Does anybody want it?
Yeah. Okay. No. There's one over there. We got Tough over there. Okay. All right. Cool.
Let's get it.
Cool. So he's gonna drink for you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So I suck at explaining these rules. Your friend is gonna explain them. Yeah, we're gonna get him a chair. Yep.
I got it right.
You got cranberry juice? Cranberry juice over ice, and I'll mix this with it. Thank you.
Or whatever he's drinking though for his shots.
Yeah. So you explaining them the rules?
I'll explain it to him. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna give you two choices.
Yes.
You pick one. Nobody drinks. If you say both or neither, we're drinking.
Okay.
So, and any stories you got with any names mentioned,
I will.
Please,
They're pretty much all
dive
gonna.
deep.
They're all gonna have stories because if I know them, they're coming from a place of a relationship as opposed to what I regard somebody as a fan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there may be some that to people that don't know them would be obvious, and to me, like I would pick Tone Loc over everybody. I would pick Tretch over mostly everybody.
All right.
You know what I mean? So
All right.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
But by the way, I want to take a time out to actually really big you up because I'm actually looking at your drink selection and I'm really realizing you drink 4 different things.
He said this last time.
Oh, I don't know what this
This
is.
is shout out Lil Haiti. The whole
That shit.
this is the Haitian version of Mama Juana.
And then you got Mama Juana. Then you got. By the way, Pitbull, he's so loyal to you, man. Cause I can tell he doesn't enjoy this at all.
No, good. What you talking about? Shout out Rolly Vodka, bro. Pitbull.
Mama Juana, I'm Dominican.
Yeah, Mama Juana, bro.
Oh, Mama, don't do it. They make that in the toilet. They make that in a bathtub in Kindle. I'm telling you, be careful. No, it's fantastic. I'll be playing around.
Jake, you gonna get some ice too? You gonna
So I just want to before we get into this.
Yeah.
This is different marijuana.
No, this is Haitian. I don't know what would we consider this, guys.
He's not really. We've established that he's not really Haitian. We can't go to Sunny
I'm not looking
D.
at Haitian. I'm looking at my other friends.
We can't go to Sunny D
Sunny
for
does not represent Haiti here.
for the Haitian delegation. We cannot go to Sunny. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all some funny shit real quick.
This is like their Mama Juana. It's like Haitian, Haitian Mama Juana.
So you got Haitian moonshine. Then you got Mama
I'm
Juana.
probably saying it wrong.
Then you got Pitbull vodka.
Yep.
Which you had for like 2 years. It ain't going nowhere.
They sponsored the 30th last year,
Yeah.
and
then you got beer.
And I got beer as well.
Oh, that shit.
That's why he's in CrossFit every day. Cause that shit is gangster right there. I've been doing this with him 8 years, and I'm still realizing every more day, like he might be an iller drinker than me. Okay.
They're like, you acting
I'm gonna do my best to be decisive, but even some of them that I say both,
Right.
I'm gonna probably give stories behind it because.
And by the way, I'm so sorry to change the subject a little bit. I met Kirk Franklin.
Oh boy.
I felt like he was bad. I swear to God.
Did you remind him about Militant and Crazy Raw Radio? What happened? What we did?
No, I did not. But he said he will come on the show.
I would tell our fans.
I told him I'm gonna try to get you high, Kirk.
Look up Militant and Crazy Raw Radio and Kirk Franklin, and we did a
Frank called him. Yeah, Frank called him. Yes.
It was a little fucked up.
Okay.
Charlie, if you want to drink this, you gotta sit here, bro, and be a part of this.
Yeah, you can have 2 designated drinkers. It's okay. You can have Charlie.
Yeah, you can have some of this because he wants to drink this really bad.
And by the way, Charlie got
Get a
glasses,
shot glass,
boy.
buddy.
Those is what I call glasses right there.
Chair down, bro? Get a shot glass.
You know Charlie's strong for no reason.
Get yourself a shot glass, not mine.
All right. By the way,
Sick
I already know how you're going to answer this.
Yes.
So I like to let people know when we do this that these questions come from a Dominican and a Colombian, and they're right over there.
They even look
They're right
suspicious
over there. Yeah. So we don't make these questions.
That's fine.
They come from them. Okay. Tone Loc or MC Hammer?
Tone Loc, dude. Tone Loc. I mean, look. I just got married. Like,
Congratulations.
Make some noise for you. We believe in love over here. I went too far.
Loud, buddy.
Some people don't believe in love, man.
And the thing is,
What you want?
I'll give Hammer his props for what he did.
That's right.
We need half over here, buddy.
Selling that many records and the impact he had. Tone Loc is like blood to me. Like literally walking down the aisle to marry my wife. Montel Jordan did my ceremony.
Nice floss. We respect that. Nice floss.
Montel walks in front of me. I'm walking behind Montel. The time that I was close to getting choked up before I was holding my wife during our vows is when I saw Tone Loc in a suit and Rob Bass in a suit.
Wow. 1,
You know what I mean?
2, 3.
So
This is recent, you're saying,
this
right?
is March, March 24th.
You said Rob Bass.
Yeah,
Rob
Rob
Bass.
was there.
Yes.
Oh, Rob Bass was there.
Rest
Tone
in
Loc
peace,
was
Easy Rock.
Yeah,
Because y'all do a tour together. Is that the tour?
90s tour. Yeah,
Okay,
Freedom Williams was there.
Okay,
You
wow.
know, so seeing CNC
Right.
Music Factory, Montel.
He from Left Rack.
Yeah, Freedom.
Freedom from Left Rack.
We have so many discuss. Freedom has so many stories, dude. I don't know where he's from because the stories are in different places.
Yeah, he from Earth.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then to round it out, All for One.
Right.
All the members of All for One came out for my wedding.
Right.
Flew had a show the night before. All brought suits. It was just so heartwarming because these are my friends. These are people I see. 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, even on this 90s tour, I'm doing 200, 300 shows with people. They become like family. That's what you see.
Yeah.
I see them more than the friends I'm with in Arizona. So
I tell people that all the time. It's 3 ways you could kind of really, really, really know a person. Get locked up with them. That's fucked up. And go on tour.
which is kind of similar.
It's similar because you're in jail free. Like, you're in jail traveling. Like,
a moving
listen,
jail. A moving
I'm
jail.
being honest with you. I've always used this description that heaven could be hell if you don't want to be there. Y'all understand what I just said? If you don't want to be there, that shit could be like I used to go to Paris and hate that shit. It's like, what the fuck is it? I don't want croissant. I don't want chocolate in Switzerland. And then I started to realize, because my pilot didn't leave Queens.
Your pilot or your palate?
You know what I meant. My pilot didn't leave Queens.
He has some of the most creative pronunciation.
I'm a pronunciation.
And
Pilot could have worked in that.
Pilot could have worked.
But the thing is that you know him so well that you knew pilot meant palate. See, that's different.
Yeah, okay.
Hell no.
All right, hold on. We're gonna move on. Hold on.
How did your pilot not leave Queens?
All right, this one I don't know.
Where he go to flight school?
This one I don't know what you're gonna say.
All right.
And this is a good one. I respect y'all. Tupac or Shock G?
Oh God. I have to say Shock G, dude.
Okay.
I have to say
Wow,
Shock.
you chose.
And once again, I'm going for I knew both of them, but
Absolutely.
I'm going for my relationships. Like Shock, God rest him. If he was alive, he'd have been at my wedding. Shock is somebody I learned so much. Even the All in the Same Gang. The whole experience. Shock had asked me about being in the record. Like, should digital be part of this?
Wow.
This is when everybody was deciding whatever, and before it was all finalized, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm doing it.
So you were on it before they were even considered? or on it actually officially?
I had said that I'd approved it. What the legal documents did or how long it took, because Delicious was trying to get money out of him, which wasn't smart.
Right.
All I knew is I had approved it at the time, and they had known that, right? So Shock had asked me my opinion, and I said, you should do it. Interesting thing. Before he passed, we had a discussion. I had done a Pepsi commercial and a Taco Bell commercial. And, oh God, I think for both of them, I want to say maybe I got 200 grand, something like that, for both commercials together. They come to Shock, and they offer him more than that. But he had heard in rumors that I got $1 million for those 2 commercials. So I'm not sure.
Great rumor.
All right. So I'm not even sure it's the same companies, but it's the same type of deal, like a fast food soft drink kind of thing. And he had turned down like 300, something like that, saying, well, if Young got $1 million, I should get close to that. And he never took the deal. When I told him how much I had gotten, he's like, man, I wish I had spoken to you instead of taking the rumors.
Right.
So that's why, even seeing that from him, it opened my eyes in terms of what the streets say or what someone says, because once again, if I'm hearing someone talk about money figures that they've never come in contact to with themselves, I have to take that with a grain of salt, unless they're the lawyer or the business affairs or someone that's going to have access to the deal. I can't, if someone says $1 million to me and they never seen $1 million, then come on, man.
Right.
Really? Nah. So Shock taught me that.
Oh, fun fact for Shock G, he's originally from Tampa.
Yeah, I'm out here.
Yeah.
This is a fun fact. I know you're going to laugh at me. You know, I really didn't know that was the same person.
Come on, man.
No, Slime,
but he did a great job at the beginning. In Arsenio, when he did the Arsenio appearance.
Yeah.
And they came out I think they came out together. I think he had his brother.
Yes.
Let me tell you how
everybody.
But the nose makes.
Yeah.
You know, the nose.
The nose in the glasses.
Yeah.
But let me tell you how bad I was fooled. Like, people told me, and I met him, and I still asked him. I was like, so where is homie gonna come out?
And knowing him, he would be like, yeah, he's gonna be out soon. Because he be staying in character.
No, he literally looked at me and was like, N.O.R.E, you know that's a joke, right? Like, it's like they're the same person. And I was just like,
You still didn't believe him.
I really didn't. So that's a fun fact for me. All right, let's move on.
DOC or MC Ren?
Oh, man. I have to say DOC. And I say DOC because before his accident, I would see him, and I'm very lyrically focused. Mm-hmm. So the dopest line he has in Funky Enough, to me, is he says something that rhymes with G or whatever, and he says, when I'm PERFORMINGN. Right? So first time I saw him, or one of the times I saw him after the record came out, I said PERFORMINGN. And DOC looks at me and says, you're the only person that got that.
Yeah, because I still don't get it. What the fuck is he talking about?
He spelled.
His pilot never left.
Yeah, right? His pilot was in Queens. He spelled performing.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's a 10-letter word that he fits into a line. And ironically, this is once again with how much of a lyric nerd I am. It's all one syllable, so you can get away with it.
Right.
But 10-letter word he spells out in a rhyme, and it just sounds like, because he does that. So they just think that it's more babbling. I'm like, no, he spelled performing right there.
Right.
And I gave him props for it. And he's like, you're the only person that got that. Then I saw him, with the accident. It broke my heart.
Probably still the only nigga that got that.
And I opened for him and Snoop a couple of years ago, not opened. I opened for Snoop and he was there.
Right.
And it was my profile before my wedding picture. Actually, my profile picture on my Facebook was me, DOC, and Snoop. So that's why it's DOC.
Okay, that was hard. That was a hard explanation. He trying not to get you drunk. He looking out for you.
I was saying, yo,
I feel like he's looking out for y'all.
I'm trying, man.
EPMD or Digital Underground?
Oh man, because I know Eric and Parrish. I have to say, see, y'all want to drink.
It's all you.
You could say both. Because you love them both.
But it can't be both. I knew Eric. Met Parrish. But it's got to be Digital Underground. Like my booking agent, Bobby Bassan, love him to death. I've had the same booking agent since 1998. One of the last road things he did was being on the road managing Digital Underground. So him and Shock were like this.
Wow.
And then I would see Shock a lot touring and the whole bit. Shock was capable of amazing deep conversation.
Right.
So it's like, this is a man who I learned so much from just talking to.
Right.
So it's like, maybe you give me two people that I don't have a story with, but
you're doing fine. You're doing fine.
This is a good one.
I'm saving money on Ubers tonight.
I'll take this one.
Go ahead.
NWA or Public Enemy? And we want the stories. Let's go.
Okay. I will say both so y'all could drink, but I'm going to give stories on both.
You already drank it.
Salud.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
Oh, he wants you to fill him
You
up.
can have some of this if you want.
Yeah, so give us,
So first with Public Enemy.
Yes.
And I told him this. I did a podcast, probably a year ago or so. And
When you say him, you talking about Flav
No.
or Chuck?
I'm talking about Chuck. And see, you bring up Flav. Me and Flav are real cool. Like, oh God, you start with Flav, I'll go with Flav.
Okay.
We did a private event similar to the one you saw with Left Rack. Me, Tone Loc, Rob Bass, Sugar Hill Gang.
Wow.
Flavor Flav hosting.
Wow.
So I'm sitting, Master G is...
Clock on?
Clock on and everything.
Clock on everything. Okay,
so,
let's go.
So I've done hosting gigs with Flav before. So and this, by the way, this is on a yacht. Leaving from the Intercontinental in Miami.
Oh, I know.
And we went in a circle for a corporate event. So the yacht was big enough where we could be on the lower levels, it was corporate rental, whatever, but we could be on the lower levels listening to what was happening on stage. So I do mine, Tone goes, Rob goes, Sugar Hill goes. So I'm sitting with Master G. I don't know if there was a headliner, but for some reason, Flav was still on stage when Master G was downstairs, changed clothes. We start talking and we're listening to what happens on stage. Flav goes into a medley. And I've known this man at this point 30 years, never seen him do a medley by himself, but I'm only listening through the ship speakers. Every record he had a verse in, bam, 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 bam. Both of us, like, Master G is an idol of mine. Is some of a mentor. So we're having deep conversation. We both stop. Let's go. And Flav was just bam, 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 going through stuff like that. So I just have a personal love for Flav. Flav has always been good with me. Friends of friends, short circle, and he's a person. You have highs and lows in this business when the records ain't hitting and all that. Flav has always treated me well.
Right.
And when it comes to Chuck, once again, I consider Chuck a mentor. Like if things were to blow up to a certain place, or I was exposed to things that I didn't know about this business, I would go to Chuck to get advice. That's the person. If you said who would be the first person you go to, is Chuck D. Okay. NWA, seeing Cube do what he did in terms of being a writer. I think me and him, I had not seen Cube in 20 some odd years, opened for him last year. Took my now wife with me. And the first thing Cube says to me is like, yo, I hope you was cool with the drive-by. Because he played Bust a Move in the background of the drive-by on, was it Death Certificate?
Death Certificate.
Right.
If I'm not, was it America's Most Wanted? Death Certificate.
See, I should know this. I'm sorry. But
I think it's Death Certificate.
Okay. So I said, of course, that gave me some of the best street cred I ever had. But I mentioned to him like, yeah, I'm thinking of going back in and making some records. He don't even look at me. He looks at my wife and he's like, you need to get him back in the studio. And he's, you know how Q can be. He's kind of my wife got scared. You know what I mean? But he respects me so much as an artist and writer from back then.
Right.
And because once again, it's all of them on stage. But then I respect him because I didn't know all he wrote for them. I did not know literally until the stuff I read and seen him. Yeah. So
Easy actually said it on the record.
Yeah.
Easy said, Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. And I heard that and I was like, I knew this rhyme. And I didn't know that they were admitting to ghostwriting back then. I didn't know that shit.
Yeah.
So you have Cube. Easy played a big part of me being accepted on the West Coast. Easy-E.
Okay, wow.
Because I shared stages with them. So I'm watching Straight Outta Compton, and I remember playing those places. Like, some of those places represented Skateland, World on Wheels.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's where I came up. So I would often open for them, and, they were always cool with me, always great. And Easy, accepted me. And Delicious and Ruthless were kind of parallel, right. at least for a minute. And they had to acknowledge what we were doing on the pop side, and then we had to acknowledge what they were doing on the gangster side.
Right.
But it was all LA. And I'm coming from a point where people were saying LA rappers were whack and all that other shit, and I just wasn't hearing it. Like, I'm not gonna go up here and change my style or try and sound a certain way so that I can fit into what you think an LA rapper is. Like, no, I'm from LA and I rhyme like this. And I think Easy appreciated that. And I think Cube appreciated that. So you take those two just in terms of being frontmen, and then, Ren and Yella in terms of what they represented for the group, and then Dre has changed the music business.
Yep.
From everything from his production to what, to Death Row, to the stuff with Interscope.
Yeah, the economics of
the economics, the Beats by Dre. Come on, man. It's like, I just wanted to see y'all drink. I would have picked NWA, but you know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, it leads me to my next question.
Yeah.
Ice Cube or Biggie Smalls?
I gotta say Cube.
Okay.
I gotta say Cube. I never met Biggie. A lot of respect for Biggie. To me, Party and Bullshit is his best record. Like if you say okay,
original party and bullshit. Okay, yeah.
What, Who's the Man?
Yeah,
Yeah, the soundtrack.
I didn't know who that was. That to me shows how good of a record is. Like, I go into that record with no preconceived notions. I was a terrorist since the public school era. Bathroom passes, and, you know what I'm saying? I hear that and I'm like, oh my God, who's that?
Right.
It's only like 2 years later that you actually see Ready to Die and you see, who that actually is.
Right. So
and even going back, listening to everything, you hear the hunger in that record.
Yeah, he's a hip hop historian. You see how he breaks shit down? I want to go to a school that you could teach. Like you got to be a teacher.
Build it.
Damn it, my bad.
Build it. He will come.
Build it. Get a check.
I literally. The way you talk, I can literally just speak to you all day because, and the knowledge.
Thank you, man.
The knowledge that's real impressive to me.
But to finish the question,
my bad.
It was what? Ice Cube
or
Biggie.
I just made that up. It's not even in the notes.
Because he likes to keep that one going.
Yeah, exactly. But Ice Cube is just another level. Not only on a personal level, what I saw him do with NWA, sharing those stages, all the shit that they went through, what he was able to do as a solo artist, what he's been able to do as a businessman, and that's my friend, dude. Like I consider Ice Cube a friend, right. and just to be, I hadn't seen him. Like when Bust the Move happened, I left. I'm not doing the hood places anymore. I'm not coming back each record. I'm a pop artist at that point.
Okay.
Got the penthouse in West Hollywood. That's what's happening. But I always had love for it. So when I see him, I'm like, okay, I hope he ain't salty, but the fact that I, haven't been around or whatever. And he asked me about the drive-by. So I'm like, okay, he's feeling some of what I'm feeling, that we haven't been around each other. Coolio, God rest him. After I had opened for Cube, we get to talking, and he said he had never shared a stage with Cube, or at least hadn't in 20 years.
Right.
I'm like, how does that happen? Different agencies, different approaches. You have a record that crosses over pop. Cube hadn't toured for a while. Also, some of the harder shit was harder. It was more difficult to get on stage in front of people. Now he can tour headline, do whatever he wants. So seeing that, and just the conversations we had, it makes the two times come together. Like it doesn't feel like there was a gap. Okay. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about Q.
So let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
This is off Drink Champs. This is not Quick Time with Slime because you just it hit me. God comes down. God says to you, young MC, one person can tell your story. Make a movie.
Oh, boy.
Your choices. Quentin Tarantino. I don't know why I thought of him.
Yeah.
Ice Cube. Spike Lee. Or Robert De Niro. They're gonna be your directors.
I would say Cube.
I knew you was gonna say.
I would say Cube.
I set you up.
You know what's funny? I thought you were gonna ask me about the DJ and the or the producer and the feature for the record to save the world. That's what I thought you were gonna ask me there.
Okay, I'm asking now. Let's get to that.
I have one for that one.
Wait. So what are we talking about now? Yeah.
No. If you said you had to make one record to save the world.
I want to save the world.
Yeah.
So we can get back to that. So
okay,
you said you would let Ice Cube because of your relationship with Ice Cube, or that's the perfect person for the job.
Both. I mean,
perfect fit for you.
Yeah. I think perfect fit because he's from the era, from the time, from the region,
right?
And he lived through it.
But understand the material.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you had asked me, if Yella was directing movies or if Ren was directing movies, I don't know them as well, but I would pick them because they know the time and the era and everything. I wouldn't have to explain it.
Right.
And their memories would coincide with mine. So
because that's like what's crazy. What is it called? Biopics.
Yeah, biographies, yeah.
Yeah, so
biopics, yeah.
Everyone relates it to the people that's alive. Like NWA, they say that.
Yeah, I mean, and I'd hate to say anything negative about any art on this platform, but that Amy Winehouse joint, the Amy Winehouse movie, I saw it early.
Good.
It was so obvious that it was her family that had, they throw the husband under the bus, and she wasn't really into any substances until he came along and that kind of thing. It just, when it's so skewed, and then you have somebody like Mark Ronson that produced her biggest record and basically changed her life, and he barely gets like 2 seconds in the movie.
Is Salam in the movie? Salam Remy?
I believe so.
He's a big part of her.
I believe, but it would be brief. Like it had to do more with her home life, family, friends, and that just came from, you know, them having the background of it. But to me, having lived, you know, somewhat of an artist's life, there's so many elements to it, dude. So I look at that, and it just disappoints me when you talk about biopics. It's like they have to talk to everybody. And they can't just take it from one side, and they can't let one person, especially if the artist is dead, you can't just let one person have say over everything.
It has to be unbiased.
It has to be unbiased. So if the artist did something that the family necessarily doesn't like, you can't just eliminate it from the story like it never happened.
You're retelling history.
Especially if there's millions of witnesses. What happened to this? What, you know what I mean? So yeah, go ahead.
Yes, that's real. That's real. So we going with Ice Cube?
Okay.
No, but what's the record that saves the world?
What is the record? If God comes to you,
the record that saves the world.
I'm gonna blow your mind because y'all haven't heard neither of these. Scott Storch will be producing it.
Have you worked with Scott before?
I have not. I just.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I have not worked with either of these people.
That Scott Storch friend over there. You see how he just lit his.
Scott Storch will produce it. And the rapper, Starang Wonder from OGC.
Wow,
when I say that's an influence, and I met them. I met Sean Price before he died, walking through a crowd, and he looks at me. Yeah, Rest in peace. And he looks at me. He's like, "Yo, Young MC, I don't give a fuck what nobody say about you, man." You know what I mean? So, but yes, it would be Scott Storch and Starang Wonder. Wow. I stand on that. Put the world on that.
Hold on. To save the world. By the way, I'm sending this to clip to Scott Storch immediately. But by the way, hold on. So if you had any producer in the world, God come to you with any producer, and you would pick Scott Storch, that is such an honor.
No, but because the thing is,
I'm asking.
In terms
That's my brother, by the way.
In terms of what moved me when I heard it, like they might consider him the best producer, but what God, Why We Thugs with Cube, the stuff he did, gosh. The stuff he did with Method Man, like that 421 album is so underrated. It seemed like a downtime in hip hop. I listen to that record. I get inspired lyrically and musically to this day.
Really?
You know what I mean? I listen to Why We Thugs, and I'm like, that's not something. I mean, I was happy that when I opened for Cube, he literally did 27 records. I snuck a picture of the playlist. But I was happy that he did that because he could easily do a whole show and not do that record. But part of what makes both of those so strong for me is Scott Storch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
And in Starang, LaFleur LaFly Ishkoska.
That's one of the best. Underrated record in hip hop. It's one of the best. Posse Cuts, crazy.
And if you listen,
for DJs, the best.
If from an MC standpoint, invariably when I'm listening to those records, and then I go back and listen to like the OGC records, his verses are the ones that stand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many corny MCs want to try when strength shit hit up like that for July? I mean, are you kidding me? And I'm in LA. So I'm like, what is going to tie me to New York? His lyrics, like, were a link to me to say, okay, this is the evolution of New York rap. This is the evolution of New York hip hop. It's the ranks. Absolutely
dope.
Yeah, that's so dope. That's so dope. You fucked me up. You officially fucked me up.
You definitely didn't come with the cookie cutter on that one.
Coolio or Eazy-E?
Oh, God.
Remember, we could drink.
Rest in peace to them.
I mean, all right, so y'all could drink. I'm going to say both.
Cheers, Chanchi. Cheers.
Salud.
Now you can get the good stuff.
Tone Loc is my closest friend in the music business. Like I said, like blood to me. Over the last 7-8 years until he passed, Coolio was right there. Wow. I opened for him. We spent time together, traveled with his crew, met his family, went to Vegas for his birthday. I mean, we talk about music. I would, and the thing is, he understood what it was like to be making West Coast music and then have a massive hit record that kind of overshadows everything, but then you still want to be the artist and that kind of thing. So me and him related just on so many levels. It broke my heart when he passed.
Right.
Easy, as I told you before, Easy was someone who made my acceptance by the West Coast a lot smoother.
Right.
Because I would be around them, and it would be, and honestly, this is before Bust a Move, pop. But from the records I had made, he saw my skill and, acknowledged me for it and was good to me. You know what I mean? So I have reason to love both men.
Right. Would you have wrote for Easy if you'd asked him?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say no at that point.
But what if he would ask you to write like a drive-by record, like a gangster record?
Well, there's only so much. I mean, look, it's funny because I looked over all my albums, and the album that I kind of went furthest away from myself is my '93 What's the Flavor album.
Okay.
Ali Shaheed Muhammad produced some, but the single was one that I produced. But they had me wearing they had me wearing fatigues, and just trying to look like something I wasn't necessarily, because there was such a backlash, and they wanted stuff to be gangster. But I wasn't going to change my name, and I wasn't going to start cursing on the record. It just wasn't going to happen. So, if Easy had asked me, I'd have done it. If I had to curse in it for him, I'd have done it. Yeah. I mean, it's work. And also, I'm the kind of person where I like to see the people around me experience some of what I experience. Part of why I'm so hyped about putting out new music now is that I have friends that have been my friends for 25 years that have never gone on the ride with me, never seen me with a hit record. And just to know that I have someone with that level of commitment to me when records aren't hot, I'd love to have a record that's hot and be able to, text my man that, absolutely.
Do you think you was the first young?
Yes.
That's what I was.
Absolutely.
Like, how ahead of your time were you with the young name?
And it's my last name. But you didn't know that?
No.
I didn't even think of it either.
Yeah. Young is my Marvin Young. Young is my last name.
So he wasn't even faking the young.
No.
It's like legit young.
But I'm the 12-year-old hanging around the 18-year-olds at the block party. But I can rhyme as good or better than them that they're not happy about. But yeah, I was the first young. With an O, spelled correctly, and I had the trademark.
You ushered in the era of the young.
Why you and
Did you ever think at that time that there would be a plethora of young MCs, literally?
Dude, and you go online, there's people imitating, impersonating, trying to, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, imitation being a form of flattery, all good.
That was dope. Okay. Self-destruction or all in the same gang? We obviously.
Yeah, all in the same gang.
Okay, we obviously know that. I told you this comes from Colombians and Dominicans.
Big Daddy Kane or LL Cool J?
Wow. Oh, man. All right, both. Y'all can drink.
Yeah, we got our shots lined up.
Cheers.
Salud.
Me and Kane... It's funny because when Know How came out, I know me and Kane had a discussion because he had what was the fast one he had? I Get Raw or
Warm It Up.
Raw is one of them.
Raw is one of them.
Yeah. So we had a discussion about fastest rapping and stuff like that, and I've always respected him, and I was a fan of his before I came out. LL, to see what that record did from radio on, what he's has done as an actor, Rock the Bells, all that. It's impressive, dude. It's just really impressive. So on both levels, I would give both of them their flowers.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. You got the next one?
De La Soul or A Tribe Called Quest?
Oh man, I love Pasta News, dude, but I gotta say Tribe. Ali produced the record on me. Q-Tip has always been good. Fife, and I get so inspired. There's no record that moves me like Check the Rhyme. No record.
Check the Rhyme, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. No record that moves me like that.
Heavy D or Chubb Rock?
I would say Heavy D. I would say I had done a few shows with Heavy D, and I still remember when not only when he passed, but if you remember, his dancer passed on tour, and that was heartbreaking for all of us that were doing, because we were all doing it at the same time. But to see what he did, how the records crossed, he's really one of the first to have rap records that consistently cross into urban radio, so they wouldn't go all the way pop, but you see the R&B stations playing a lot of Heavy D. Yeah. So that was a big deal. Because once again, it just kind of spread the scope of where hip hop could go.
That's real.
You got this?
Yeah, I got to ask this one because it's gonna hurt.
Group chat.
LA or New York?
Oh no, I know you ain't gonna like this.
I already know I'm not gonna like it.
He made his chops.
I gotta say LA.
You gotta say
Like
LA. I
said,
respect that. I respect that.
It's been the last 10 to 15 years. It's been
Right.
the last 10 to 15 years. But like I said, if I stayed in New York,
Right.
you wouldn't have heard of me.
Right.
You being a New York MC,
Right.
if you're around a lot of older New York MCs,
Right.
they don't want to hear about you having a new style.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear about you having a new. It just was like, we own all this, blah, blah, blah. LA,
There's so many New York artists that get put on from other places.
Yes.
So yeah, I understand.
Because like it's not a big area, so you can easily have someone that's in control of a whole lot. There's a lot of gatekeepers,
Right.
Where there wasn't that much of a gate to keep in LA. There were
Wow.
a couple artists that were out, but I played all these places and opened up for all these acts, and especially the ability to cross over. You know what I mean? There was no resentment in LA. If I crossed over from New York, there would have been resentment.
That's interesting that you say it that way. So
That's how ESPN feels.
that whole thing that I said about in hip hop, they would have frowned upon someone going commercial. You in LA or the West Coast, you weren't going to feel that.
Where do they make commercials, dude? Where do they make commercials? They make more commercials in LA.
Oh,
There's more.
I thought that was a trick question.
I mean,
I thought it was.
I mean, so
go to your school.
there were so many examples.
Right.
I mean, Ice-T makes colors, and now he's an actor. So it's
Right.
like, what you go? Oh, he's on, SVU
right.
or whatever.
You're literally in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's in Law and Order, so I'm not gonna whatever. No. Whereas New York, at least now, but once again, this is my experience as a child, not being able to get into clubs, and you know what I mean.
Right.
So it's a little bit different. I wasn't able to get indoors, but just from what I had seen and what I was able to access when I got to LA, yeah, it's just different in LA.
So big up LA. It's okay.
It's okay. Thanks, buddy.
It's okay. Yeah, you got this one. I got it.
Go ahead.
Gangstar or Nicest Move? And whatever stories you want to say.
I would say Gangstar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Premier.
Premier's a producer, Guru. You know what I'm
Rest in
saying?
peace, Guru.
Yeah, rest in peace, Guru. But Guru is an MC. Just how groundbreaking it was in terms of going over like straight samples and hip hop. Like Gangstar made anthems. Like Nicest Smooth has some good records. I won't lie. But Gangstar,
Right.
to me, at least in my experience, I saw anthems. Several coming out of Gangstar.
Nicest Move has one of the best rhymes I ever think I heard in hip hop.
Well,
Anybody-
collaborative.
Anybody want to
Nice
ask
to
me?
Smooth with Gangstar.
Anybody want to ask me?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
What is it?
what's the
Wait,
rhyme?
is
It said, no matter how many times the ball bounces, there's still no bones in ice cream. I love that.
Are you sure that's the rhyme?
You never heard that? No matter how many times the ball bounces, there's still no bones in ice cream.
Well, why would he make that up?
You can't. You
Exactly.
can't.
Well, I mean, the pilot might not have left.
No.
Yo,
I swear to God, when I
heard
hear
it on my Pilot and Queen's iPod.
that line is always like the dopest shit to me because I still don't know technically what it means.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I want the lady to bring the drink. Yes.
Eh?
Okay, I'm going to the next one.
Fresh Prince. Well, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Rob Bass, and Easy Rock.
Oh man. I have to say Rob Bass and Easy Rock. I know you grabbing the
No,
drink,
that's
but I
cool.
can't.
No, that's cool.
I mean, I've done hundreds of shows.
It Takes Two is probably one of the most iconic hip hop records.
Here's the thing. On some levels, some people were saying that Bust a Move was based on It Takes Two. There wasn't a lady singing in a hook until It Takes Two, and that came out before Bust a Move. You know what I mean? Now, I know the difference of it. It's a different style, but in terms of single rapper, rapping over a breakbeat, somewhat melodic female singing.
I can see it.
Over 110 beats a minute. There wasn't that much of that then. If you're talking
Right.
88, 89. So there was definitely some influence.
It's just straight feel good record.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. And
Right.
and just to go off on a little tangent, when people talk about keeping it real, if I was to change my name, start cursing in records, whatever, that wouldn't be keeping it real to me. I have 37 years of not cussing in records, making feel good party records, whatever. That's my real.
You and Rakim.
So that's the thing. When you, in a DOC joint, when you brought up that he didn't swear, I didn't realize he didn't swear. He's so good
I
at
didn't
it.
realize it either.
I didn't
DOC.
realize that he isn't cursing his records. I'm like, man, if I could,
still don't believe it.
If I could get it like that where people didn't notice, that's dope.
Okay.
Beastie Boys or the Fat Boys?
Beastie Boys, dude. And the Beastie Boys, for several reasons, the Dust Brothers produced Know How. So before the Dust Brothers produced the Beastie Boys, I had a couple records on with them. Yeah. So there was a link there. I want to say Tamra Davis, and if I'm messing up names, she was affiliated with the Beastie Boys, and she directed. I think she did the principal's office video. So and there would be clubs in LA and places in LA where I'd see them running around, and this is right after
they moved to LA, right? For Paul's Boutique. I feel that.
Well, they'd have to work with the Dust Brothers, right? So and that's like a sample heaven hell record. There's so many samples on it. It's a groundbreaking record in terms of production. So that's why I would say Beastie Boys, because there were so many things they did as a group, but in terms of my own personal experience, what they were able to do in that hip hop space with guys that I'd worked with, you know what I mean? It was special.
Battle Cat or DJ Quick?
Man.
Oh, you haven't thought this long in a minute.
Now, what's the name of this drink?
Cousin Francis.
Cousin Francis, and you could get a Cousin N.O.R.E when you add a little bit of vodka. It's called a Cousin N.O.R.E now. I'm sorry.
All right, I gotta say Quick. I gotta say DJ Quick. He is such an inspiration to me, and also he has let me know, how he's been inspired by me. AMG is a close friend in his crew. I saw them at a couple shows recently, and that whole crew is just a great representation of West Coast hip hop to me. And I feel a lot of the same journey, even though Battle Cat did DJ for me way back in the day. A lot of Battle Cat's more recent success I haven't been party to as much as I have Quick. And just his journey as an artist, him as a lyricist, like there's part of me that will put Quick in my top 5 because he's so underrated.
Artist and producer, or just artist?
He's just saying MC, yeah.
As an MC, he's so underrated.
Right.
I can go off on another tangent if you want, but
we like your tangents.
Okay, you're a Jet fan.
Continue.
You're a Jet fan.
It's hard.
I know.
It's hard. It's hard.
Okay.
Yes, I am a Jet fan.
Last year, me and my wife were taken to, and we did, my fiance at the time, but my wife now, we were invited to go see the Jets play the Raiders in Las Vegas.
Okay. It sounds horrible so far.
Yeah. One of my good friends, Brad Armstrong, owns a bunch of roller rinks, has season tickets. If you ever watch a Raiders game, you see the guy that holds up the fist. That's my man Brad. Okay. So he has season tickets. He get us in. I go wearing a Quincy Williams jersey. My wife goes in an Xavier Gibson jersey to show you how current. If you know the squad, you know that those are high players from the last year or two.
I'm trying to figure out where the story going.
He takes us to the tailgating in Raider Alley in Vegas. All they're banging is bass shit. You're hearing like we're still in Oakland.
Okay.
Right.
DJs had the best tacos of my life, but people looking because we're the only ones in Jet jerseys walking down Raider Alley.
You set tripping right there.
Super.
Everybody was respectful, but the bottom line was I heard a whole bunch of a whole bunch of bass stuff to the point where the new records that I'm putting out, people have said, why do you have such a Bay influence in your music? Because that experience did so much for me. But the only artist that I heard that I recognized was Quick over something that sounded like Down, 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 but wasn't Down, Down, Down. But it was obviously an older record, but it was able to just go with all the Bay stuff. And Quick's not from the Bay, but there's such a respect for him, and his stuff blends so well and keeps a vibe going. That always stuck with me.
That's real.
Like what he can do in terms of opening doors and getting into places with his music, it's really impressive.
Nah, production wise, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Well,
is that story true?
Artist and production.
Yeah. Is that story true that he locked himself? And I never asked him this. I should have. But if
He'll
he
be here Monday.
Let us know because we're gonna ask him.
Let us know, please. Give us some insight.
He'll be here Monday.
That he had locked himself in the studio or locked himself, down with his equipment for 2 years to learn how to play well.
We're gonna take this clip and we're gonna show
We're
it
gonna
to
show
him. And ask him.
yeah.
You're gonna ask him the question.
Yeah, no, because it's obvious that he's an amazing player.
Right.
But I know some guys that were classically trained and alike, and that was the story.
Right.
That was the story that he just literally, put himself in front of his equipment for over a year, if not 2 years, to learn how to get better as a producer, and then just came out with his sound. So anyway,
That's dope. That's dope. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, you got the next one.
Yo MTV Raps or Music Video Box?
whew. Y'all could drink both.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah.
Video music box, Ralph McDaniels, Vid Kid, influenced to me while I was still in New York before I even went to college. Yo MTV Raps was more of an influence once I got to LA and was able to come back with a hit record. So it's really two different parts of my life that you're asking me
Right.
to so I'm not going to say, oh, the later part when the record blew up is better than the early part, because I was influenced by video music box. Like, ooh, Channel 47. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing. But then MTV Jams, everybody didn't have cable. I'm on a road for a lot of it, but I saw the influence of it. And then when they allowed them to get everybody in hip hop on there, that was serious.
Yeah.
Because that's when MTV was at their peak and hip hop was really getting established. So if you talk about hip hop on a global scale,
Yo
MTV Raps did a lot more for that. Yeah.
Okay. Soul Train or the Apollo?
I'd say Soul Train. I say Soul Train because in terms of exposing, the joke I have is like people, like black people can tell space and time. If you say, yeah, that's right around the year Soul Train started letting white people on. You know what I'm saying? And every person that watched Soul Train be like, I remember that. Soul Train did more for me in terms of exposing more people to more music. The Apollo was like you went into an arena, you did your stuff, but in terms of exposing people to music, it was less about that as it was about just the personality of the Apollo, to me. Yeah.
Intimidating place.
The Apollo's paying your dues, like a part of paying your dues.
The story I'll tell, my second album, this is during the time when we have dancers, so I think I had either 4 or 6 dancers at the time. And I'm doing my song, I want to say That's the Way Love Goes, and there's a little break in there. So I get the crowd hyped during my break and realize that I've gotten so hyped that my next verse has started.
Oh, shit.
And throw your hands. You know what I mean? Try not to show that you made a mistake. I picked up my verse from the choreography. 5th line, they walk back. I say this, boom, jump right in. Nobody ever missed it. But it was my nerves of being on the Apollo.
Right.
But then I'm like, I'm capable of doing that. So
Because they was booing people back then?
they wasn't gonna pull me.
Right.
But
they've always
main
booed
act.
people.
You said booed. I thought you meant pull. Like
No.
literally, like
Oh, no.
They've always booed
Yeah,
people.
they've always booed people. I don't know if I got boozed. I don't think I did, but
Right.
I would have if I had just stopped then.
Right.
But I literally was able to pick up the verse from the choreography. So that's my Apollo story. Yeah.
Okay. Boom.
Boom.
Queen Latifah or MC Lyte?
Oh man. I gotta say Queen Latifah.
Okay.
Me and Dawn go back, dude. This is Mark the 45 King.
Oh, rest in peace.
Mark the 45 King was my inspiration when I was still in Queens. So we're
Wow.
talking, 15, 16, 17 years old, before I went to college, before any record deals, before anything. And I can tell you the thing about the record deal too. That's another New York to LA thing.
Right.
But Mark the 45 King was was a big inspiration to me, and to see what he did with Queen Latifah at the jump, and I knew her as Dana. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, MC Lyte. I met MC Lyte, I want to say, as I was coming up, and to this day, she's still really good friends with good friends of mine. But in terms of my personal influence, I'd have to say Latifah.
So you knew her personally?
He just called her Dana, man.
I know. That's why I wanted to like.
Don't get more personal than that.
But I knew her as that. You know what I mean? I knew her as that. So it's like, whether it be, I don't know if it was parties or functions, events, whatever. But we would, we ran into each other,
Right.
from back then.
They just had an incredible show at the Hollywood Bowl with the Roots.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
I
that
missed
shit
that.
it looked incredible.
Latifah and
It was
MC
the
Light?
Roots. It was I think the Roots picnic on the road.
Oh, really?
And Latifah, I believe MC Light was there. Moni was there. The Far Side was there. Drez, Black Sheep. It looked incredible.
Just real quick, you guys had Cassidy on. And when I saw Cassidy,
DJ.
DJ Cassidy along with Steve Rifkin. So when I saw DJ Cassidy's episode, I texted him because he mentioned a record store called Rock and Soul.
Yep.
And he would have been going there mid-90s, I guess, something like that. Early
I
to
went
mid-
there in that era too.
Yeah. I went to that record store in 1983.
Wow.
1983, 1984 at the worst. I DJ'd my own prom in 85. So I was DJing, getting records from there, buying everything on Def Jam. Like, oh, it's got the, the Burgundy label. Boom, give it to me. And the dude that introduced me to the guys at Delicious worked at Rock and Soul, guy named Eric.
Wow.
So, and it goes that far back. And I'm going to school at 94th and Park, detouring my way to go to 36th and 7th before I went home. Now I'm good. Why you
I
holding
fuck
that
with
to
you.
me?
You gotta try sometimes every now and
You
then.
think,
know what I mean?
you think I'm gonna get enough of a contact?
I'm just fucking
You
with
see something he said? I know this is indicative of an era. There was an era of MCs that were DJs before they were MCs.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and yes, I
A
like how
lot
you
of
just caught
MCs
that.
from a certain era were DJs first, and I don't know, they made a certain kind of MC being DJs.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's why I don't get why today everybody's like, oh, you hear a beat and you just jump on. And it's like, no, like I hear the whole record. So I'm not going to hear somebody's beat and be like, oh, I got to write something. I got to get inspired the whole way through. Wild Thing was like, here's the beat. You need to write a record, call this to this. Go. None of this, I can't rhyme over this, or I can't write to this, or I can't get an idea. Can you slow it down? Can you change the sample? Can you? No. That's the beat. Go do it. 4 times platinum. You know what I'm saying? Like, bust a move. Here it is. The only thing I did, I called it Make That Move when I wrote it down. And they changed it to Bust a Move. 90 minutes. All 4 verses. Don't change a word. Double platinum Grammy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, oh, I heard this beat, now I'm going to come up with this. No, I got to hear the whole thing.
Right.
I have to hear the whole record going on.
Please don't hate me, but I just want to double back. You didn't get publishing on those records.
Not on Wild Thing. Bust a Move, I publish it.
Bust them, okay.
Yes. So you can sleep good at night.
I'm counting. I'm like, man, if the publishing, if you would have had it intact, all those records,
Even though
crazy.
I'm going to say this, but I can't go deep into it.
No problem.
Right.
NDAs and all that. Y'all
Right.
know what reversion is?
Yeah.
35.
When you get your masters back.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So I only did half, but my 35 year was in May. So
And it includes those.
yeah.
Oh, let's make some noise for him. We have so many legends on here waiting for that 35th year.
Yeah, I know. No. Trust me, dude.
Yeah.
I feel so fortunate that I still have my wits about me, that I can still get on stage and rock a crowd and experience it. That's why that happened. I'm like, oh, I can make new music now. Not that I couldn't before, but it's not, I don't have the pressure of like, make the music, got to sell this amount, got to make this, I can actually plan something, especially in this era where it's the Wild West out there in terms of records.
Yes.
But I'm gonna definitely, I'm gonna keep in touch with both of y'all.
And you could
because
literally now give your music to your family.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you could,
Dude.
as like a trust fund.
Here's
like type of thing. That
Absolutely.
shit is like actually ill.
Yeah, I mean, well, and the funny thing is, the reversion is different than selling catalogs, where the real big numbers come.
Okay.
So in terms of catalog ownership, I still have, my portions of my catalog.
Right.
But my thought in making new music is that not only increases the value of the new music, obviously, but it increases the value of the whole catalog. One of my biggest strengths in the music business has been licensing. And part of the reason of that is that it's just me. I don't sample, but my voice is almost like a sample. Like I can get the same voice that was on Bust a Move, but I don't have to pay 6 figures for the license from the big company. I can get a new record, a different record, a record that even sounds more like what I want my movie to sound like, and have that voice on it.
Right.
All of my albums, really all of my subsequent albums, because even Relentless I've gotten licenses on, but all of my albums were able to be paid for by licenses without any shows. If I never did a show, I would have still made money on the album just from licenses.
Right.
Wow.
And this is going through like 6-7 albums.
Oh.
Outside of Stone Cold Rhymin', Brainstorm, What's the Flavor? 6-7 albums that I've made since then, since '93. Everything is paid for itself from getting licenses. Everything from Entourage on down.
So you saying when they play your music and do Where's My Car, they have to negotiate with you?
No, that's the point.
Okay.
If they if they put Bust a Move and do Where's My Car, they're negotiating with the label.
Okay.
Right? Even though I have my publishing, the administrator of the publishing. So I don't have much of a say. I have more of a say now. Post-reversion, I have more of a say.
Okay.
But up to that point, I don't have much of a say. My thing is, those negotiations, because you have so many people at the table, those cost a lot of money. But if I can give you something newer and it still has my voice on it, I can, all you got to do is either call me and my representative. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. We'll do it for this money, that money, maybe just performance rights. Cool. Just get the record out there. And I was able to do that literally for half a dozen albums and make the money back.
Because here's the part I don't understand. These record labels that got dissolved and they don't exist no more.
Right.
Why?
Bought up.
Yeah, they get bought up.
They got
bought up. So the next person that buys that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If your Rolls Royce gets repoed, it's not going to stay on the street.
Damn, my bad.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like somebody with some money is going to be like, either I'm going to fix it up for myself, or I'm going to sell it, or it's going to just be part of.
It's still being sold.
It's going to be part of my garage when the cameras go by, even though I can't drive it.
Right.
Somebody's going to do something with it.
Damn, I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
I never looked at it because what's crazy with my records. When the labels get sold, what happens is one of my most sampled records in the movies, Pharrell produced them. So Pharrell will negotiate for me instead of the label.
Right.
So I didn't even know. Like, you just taught me that. I didn't even know that. That's a little scary.
Well, maybe.
And then you said Entourage too. Entourage, they got me too.
Oh yeah, no, but
They got me too.
no. Big up to Mark on that, because he put in a record called Feel the Love, which is a record that I produced. I have 100% of, and it just literally went to my publishing rep. And I'll give you the.
So you knew. I watched Entourage.
I went to know him when he was Marky Mark. That's why
went to the actual movie theater and heard my shit played. I was like, oh shit! Like,
you know what? In all
swear
fairness,
to God, they ain't negotiating with me at all.
In all fairness, that's happened with me before. Like, what was it? Blindside. I have connections with a lot of PR companies that work with the movie studios. So I had a rep that said, oh, you need to come to this Blindside preview. I didn't know that the song was in the movie. It has a really integral scene before they get in the car accident of the little white kid and the football player going back and forth doing my lyrics. Just really, if you look at it, it's really amazing.
And they didn't tell you that prior to that?
No, well, it's not that they don't have to negotiate with me. They don't have to ask me, at least pre-reversion.
They don't need permission.
Yeah. Having said that, you might get a little worried and be like, oh, what if they put you in something racist, whatever. They're on the ride with me. You know what I mean? So if they put it in something stupid, that's costing them more money too.
Right.
So I've just been cool with that, and now, like I said, things are shifting, and I'm good.
Let's make some noise for that.
Thanks.
We still on quick time with slime. I forgot.
Yeah, slow time with slime.
No, because we learning a lot. Right.
You got it?
Run DMC or the Treacherous 3?
Run DMC, dude. Run DMC. I can't even. Treacherous 3 inspired me when I was younger, but I couldn't tell you where they were from. I couldn't tell you all the, I mean, Kumo D, obviously, a friend. Run DMC just changed so much, especially me as an artist that had a big record that crossed over and the like. Plus, I grew up on, once again, 109th and 211th.
Right.
So I could walk a few. Jam Master Jay got his haircut at the barbershop down the street from my house.
Wow.
Hollis and 211th, there was a barbershop. Jam Master Jay got his haircut there. So that's childhood. That's influence. I did a private with DMC last year. Amazing, dude. Just you want to do a story. Mark from Sugar Ray. It was one of his good friends. So Mark McGrath, sorry, must be getting a contact. Mark McGrath put on a show with me, Tone Loc, he was playing, and then DMC was playing. Mark McGrath and DMC did Fight for Your Right to Party. And when I say, and this is maybe 200 people, I don't even know, it was in a restaurant. McG, if you know the movie director, it was his restaurant in Huntington Beach or something like that. But I taped it all and I chose, I'm like, I'm not going to post any of this. This is just, I literally was standing three people back from the stage taping and saying, I'm just going to be a fan tonight. So to go from Hollis to seeing something like that, it's like DMC is he's an icon to me.
Yep.
He's an icon to all of us.
He's a Drink Champs alumni as well.
Thank you. Excuse me?
He's a Drink Champs alumni.
Oh, good. Okay.
Biz Markie or ODB?
Oh, Biz Markie, dude. Man. It's just, once again, you talk about rest in peace, Biz Markie.
Rest in peace, both.
We did yes, rest in peace, both. I'm sorry. Biz Markie did probably 100, 150 90s shows with me. So, and Biz Markie, me and M-Walk had this discussion. We didn't realize that we both were in the New Music Seminar in 1988. I think K-Day had sent him and Delicious Vinyl had sent me. And I went up, I forget who I went up against, but I know I was better than him, but I still lost. Biz Markie, out of all, and he's an idol of mine at the time, Biz Markie came up to me and said, you won that battle. I'm just letting you know.
Wow.
I saw that you won that battle. Thank you, Biz. You know what I'm saying? And then we get to talking and watching one of the greatest experiences I had. I did a halftime for the Carolina Panthers. Myself, Rob Bass, Biz Markie. I want to say Rob went first, then I went second, and they broke into You Got What I Need. And the loudest response from the crowd, regardless of how much Bust a Move and the other records have sold, was people responding to You Got What I Need with Biz Markie up there at a halftime. It was amazing. So
rest in peace to both.
yes, sir.
Tretch or Redman?
Tretch, for so many reasons. Like, once again, like I said, you go through highs and lows in the business and the like. Tretch has always been kind, supportive, positive with me. Like, he appreciates what I do, what I've been through as an artist. N.O.R.E isn't going out together anymore.
Right.
So Tretch is going out himself. When Tretch was gonna go solo and start doing his thing, it almost makes me tear up. He came to me and was asking me questions about being a solo artist on stage, being the only one without anybody passing on and passing back and forth or whatever. And we had a legit discussion about that. And I'm hoping that I helped him with that. He's amazing solo now, but Tretch is a dude that it's like, whenever I see him, it's good.
He's a top tier MC as well.
Oh yeah, no. If you hear, because I'm an Eminem fan, when you hear what Eminem says about Tretch, that even opened my eyes more. Where I go back and listen, it's like, because Eminem has done stuff that has inspired me in terms of what's possible, lyrically. But Eminem says a lot about Tretch doing that for him.
Yeah, I think Tretch is overlooked because he's in a group, but he's an ill MC by himself.
Well, that's the thing. And he wrote so much of it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. KRS or Coogee Rap?
Oh, KRS. I actually did Sly and Robbie, the Jamaican duo.
You ain't been picking up the Jamaicans not tonight. We've been waiting for it.
I did.
What do you want him to do?
I
don't know. Something.
I did.
You're from Pond the River?
Pond the River.
Pond River. I did 2 records with Sly and Robbie called Living a Lie and Under Arrest, to the point where when I went overseas and I was doing Bust a Move, people were calling for those records in Germany. Both of those records were produced by KRS-One.
Oh, shit.
And those songs almost didn't happen because there was legal stuff with Delicious not wanting me to do it, but I was fighting for it. They knew my Jamaican background. KRS knew my Jamaican background, and I had done nothing in terms of outside other than maybe Same Gang. I don't even know what came first, but I just had not done much outside of Delicious.
Right.
And yeah, Living a Lie, Under Arrest, Island Records, produced by KRS-One, Sly and Robbie.
Wow. That's
I have to. I
love this history.
I'm thankful for this because I never get to discuss a lot of this stuff. Like you bring it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, you did do that. Like 37 years didn't go for nothing.
Because you know why? These young dudes, they put everything on Instagram.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but that makes
And
it
nothing at all.
Yeah, and it's nothing. Yeah.
Everything and nothing
But
at all.
I always say that. I say, yo, I love interviewing people that didn't have Instagram when it was lit.
Oh, yeah.
Like when it was lit. Like I love that. Okay.
DMX or Big Pun? Rest in peace to both.
I never met either one of them. My man wants to drink too.
He said like this. He said, just dare me. Just dare me.
I will say DMX, and I say DMX for this reason.
Okay.
Of every MC that has ever picked up a microphone, nobody improves the quality of a beat like DMX. DMX could rhyme over a finger snap, and it slaps.
Wow.
That's DMX. Never
Yeah.
met him. Whatever, you know, all the stuff around. That's what I try and do. It's so amazing to me how many of my friends or people go, oh, I make tracks, because everybody wants to rhyme over my tracks because I have an ability to at least take your track to a certain level. DMX could take any track to the highest level. From an MC, hearing that, his style, his approach,
The passion he brings to the
unparalleled.
Right.
No one else could do it. So it's got to be.
Then we got to make some noise for
DMX.
that. Oh. You know, that's probably the only thing. When he said it just now, like, and I know we're gonna try to get Scott Storch on FaceTime in a second, but when he said it just now, I really, literally looked at my phone to call DMX, and I just forgot.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? That shit was.
Yeah, you know what's hard, to be honest? Do you want to erase
I don't.
the
I
you know what I'm saying?
I have not.
And then so I'll type.
Let you finish, because the fans is gonna say I don't erase my dead homie's number.
Right.
I don't know why.
I have a cousin
Like,
named.
I don't. And it was crazy. My bad for cutting you off. But you know what's crazy
Yeah, all the
sometimes?
messages you got too.
If I you ghost dial or hit somebody by mistake, and then they'll start talking, you realize that this person, that's they took your homie's number. That's not even who you talking to. So that shit is scary.
I have a cousin.
I don't know how we got here. My
I have
bad.
a cousin named Colin who lives in Baltimore. So we touch base, text, holidays, whatever. But I'll type CO and I'll see Coolio come up. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to take it out. It hurts me to see it, but that's my man in my phone. You know what I mean? But yeah.
You ever like did what I just said, like ghost text somebody
You smoke
by mistake?
more than me, dude. So I don't ghost, you know what I mean? There's a lot of ghost shit that be
I'm
happening.
talking about in my phone, like.
Yeah.
You know, like
You mean like pocket dial?
Yeah, pocket dial. That's what I said. Ghost, but my bad. It's pocket dial, and when I look and I see somebody
Well,
like
usually-
that I know been dead for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they answer because you gotta remember that number, like you said about the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
That number.
Yeah.
Someone else polishes it up and uses it.
Sure.
So that shit is spooky.
Luckily that hasn't happened to me.
God bless. God bless. You want the next one? Yeah, friend. And by the way, why is Charlie drinking juice?
It's not juice. You're welcome to drink it.
He's running through that bottle.
I'm not sure, man.
You can try it, man. It's good. Actually, this is a good batch, actually. Marvin Gaye or Al Green?
Wow. Y'all could drink. Y'all could drink on that.
Okay. I like that he's now enjoying us drinking. I like that.
Marvin Gaye, let's get it on with it in terms of the hits, but Al Green, with me growing as a producer and seeing what some of those records were and what they did, I wasn't as big of an Al Green fan when he was out, but the more I've learned about music, I've become more of an Al Green fan. So yeah, I would say both.
I love how he answers everything so musically correct. I love it.
Thank you, man.
I love it.
Immaculately.
He is very accurately.
I'm fighting for the drink champ gets that don't drink. So.
no.
Represent.
We have to put that up. That the people who don't drink on drink
Okay.
champs.
Right?
Moni Love or Roxanne Shante?
Moni Love. Moni Love had a cadence, and I think she still goes out because
Is
I know
that
she
the
does-
London side of you going to bat for her?
No.
She's our sister. So.
No, we love Moni. We love her.
I mean, up until this current crop of female rappers for decades, Moni Love was the most intricate speed rapper as a female.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was like boom, 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 boom. I mean, there's certain levels to it. And I try and pride myself on it that regardless of how fast I rhyme, that you can understand me.
Right.
But Moni Love was
she's an ill MC.
Moni Love was right there. By the way, since we talk about fast rapping, shout out to Twista.
Oh, yeah.
Twista would be in my top 5. But go ahead.
But Twista followed you.
Huh?
When we come to speed rap, Twista was after you, correct?
Yeah, but Twista.
And Chip Fu from the Fushnikins.
I won't even lie. Twista does stuff with consonants that I've never heard. I mean, there's other guys that come close, but the way he hits
He's ill.
some of his syllables.
Did you say consonants or continents?
Consonants, like vowels, the opposite of those.
I'm gonna just act like I know what that means.
It's the opposite of vowels.
Yeah,
Let's go there.
Opposite of vowels. Ask your pilot in Queens. He knows what's up.
It's not I-E-O-U.
But I will say when I want to see if my rap skill is still on, I do the Pope Pimp verse.
Oh, okay.
Well, a motherfucker might be broke and shit, and they can let them know broke at this, but I spit mad game like a mouth full of poker chips to get the hoes with the open lips and the provoking hips, and that's it. Woo! Like when I do that, when I hear that, that is such a level of artistry. And like not just rhyming fast to say I'm rhyming fast, but what he does with cadence, it's like, oh man, it's like just to grab a little of that. And like you said, if I was to write for Easy, when I'm quoting something like that, I don't mind cursing. Now, Young MC's not gonna curse in his records,
right?
You know, but Young MC and Marvin, the rap fan, are two different people at times. But go ahead.
Biggie or Big L?
Biggie, man, Biggie. And I love Big L. You know, but Biggie, it's just, you talk about level of influence, and especially Biggie was blowing up at a time when other regions were dominating. You would know being from the East Coast, so there was a time when Biggie was representing the East Coast, right, especially in records that crossing. I mean, he was, you know, flag waving for Bad Boy and all that. That's, you know, I gotta respect that.
That's real. That's real.
This is a good one right here.
Yeah, you take it there.
A Drink Champs favorite, Prince or MJ?
And if you got stories, we want them.
Okay. Before I give the answer, I'll give you the stories, and I'll say who.
I love that. Let's get to it.
Okay. I'm gonna pick one, so I'm sorry. If y'all want to drink now, just to drink, y'all can. But I'm gonna pick one.
Let's drink one.
I'm gonna get a regular drink though, Jamie.
Right when Heavy D had guested on a Michael Jackson track, and around that time, I don't think it was the same track, but around that time, I had heard that there was some interest in me guesting on a Michael Jackson track, and my manager at the time was trying to get money out of him.
Michael Jackson.
Out of Michael Jackson's camp, because I was getting paid for everything, whatever. And I never was able to get into it where I could say, yo, I'll do it for free just for the look or whatever. That's one of my biggest regrets, because I'm not big on guesting, but there's certain things that where if you're gonna guest, you just do it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and obviously, I mean, Thriller, Off the Wall, just musically, just amazing.
So you saying you fronted on Michael Jackson?
I didn't.
I mean, like
his team did.
Kind of like.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason I don't. That's part of the reason I rep myself now. It won't be me. And that's the thing, by the way. You would know as an artist. If
you said it so nicely, but it sounded like
if your manager,
Michael Jackson.
If your manager, somebody in your camp, makes a decision you don't agree with, then it comes back and people are pointing at you because you're the face of it.
That is a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That is a fact.
That's what I wanted to kind of avoid.
So you were telling me Mike called management.
I don't know if Mike called management, but
I'm sure it was Mike's team. Well,
that's what I meant. Mike's team's called. And what did they like?
I don't. No. It all got to me later.
Okay.
It all got to me. I'm out touring. I'm out. You know what I mean? It all got to me later that it didn't happen, but it could have happened.
And to be fair to your team, they're probably like, Michael Jackson, there's money here.
There's money here, there's a budget, whatever.
Michael's not going to do something for free for somebody else.
Right.
So let's just make it business. But for any young artist or any artist listening right now, evaluate the artist that's asking. And this is for the team, the artist, because for you would have made that money 100 folds over.
The shine is
the shine, or if you had the publishing on whatever you did on that, or performing the record or whatever, you would have made that money.
That's the thing,
1,000,000 times over.
Especially looking back now, there was a time when people had longer attention spans, where if you just did your guest spots, you know, your guest verses on records, it would seem like a choppy show. Now, if you were to just go do your guest verses and they were all known, that'd be a banging show, especially the younger people. So to think that like I could pull a verse out from a Michael Jackson record the same way I could pull out my verse from All in the Same Gang and just throw it up and people would know it. Come on, man. Come on. So that's Michael Jackson. Prince, playing all the instruments.
You met Prince too?
I met him. He knew who I was. Dude.
Prince,
I gotta ask.
Both of them were tuned in, though. Both of them were plugged into this.
Is this ass out Prince or this regular Prince?
He didn't have his ass out when I saw him.
No, this ass out. Okay, let's continue. That's all right.
I'm in Larrabee West B, off of, I think, Santa Monica, and he's in Larrabee West A. So I saw him in the studio. I think it was Bar 1. I see him in. I'm not sure if he made it to Roxbury. I was in Roxbury 4 nights a week when I went in. But yeah, and it just inspiration. Actually, I did see him in Roxbury. Yeah, I did see him in Roxbury.
Okay, so now when you say in Roxbury, you talking about like
the club.
The club. That's an iconic club.
Now here's the funny thing.
It's a great movie about Night at the Roxbury.
I lived less than a mile away, maybe. I mean, I was at Santa Monica and Roxbury was at Sunset. So part of the reason I never got in any crazy trouble was that, one, I would, leave early, because home was close. But if someone said, oh, we're going to this person's house, most times that person's house was further away from Roxbury than my house was. Right. So me going to my house would be closer than going deep into Beverly Hills and getting into whatever trouble. So I just went home. But Ely was a good friend. Tia Carrera, absolutely. I would be in Roxbury a lot. And they would, when certain public events happen and all that, just to see the reactions, the people I'd see in there. I mean, Arsenio would be, up in there, and I formed a relationship with him and be on his show. The All in the Same Gang appearance on Arsenio, that to me is an iconic moment.
Oh, we got to.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, just, yeah.
Come back to that.
All good.
I feel like you smashed a lot of white girls.
You know what?
Listen, what he didn't say is about the Roxbury. He's like, it was party time.
That was party time.
You know what? I'll say this out of respect. No, you're right. Out of respect early on in my career, I had one wild week.
Okay, I need to hear about it.
You said you had one wild week in your whole career?
No, well, where basically, and the wild week was I didn't say no.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
You gave yourself a hall pass.
Yeah.
You said, you're allowed. I am allowed.
I'm single. The record's cracking. You know what I mean?
You became Charlie for 1 week.
6 in 6 cities in 7 days. And this is pre-internet, pre-cell phone. I'm at the end of it like, this ain't fun. I'm losing phone numbers. And I'm like, that's somebody's daughter.
Damn.
That's somebody's sister. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I'm having these thoughts at 22. I'm having these thoughts.
Very mature.
Yeah, because it's like, so the next pretty thing that says something to me, it's like, I've been through this. I didn't enjoy that week.
You didn't enjoy
So
it?
I didn't enjoy it.
He was looking in the mirror like, I can't do it no more. I respect that.
So that's me, and the interesting thing is, like my wife now, Chantal, it's the first time I've been married, the first time I'm getting married at 56, got married. And I said this in my vows, because I felt this from the first time I met her. That's how I know she's know that she's my wife and meant to be my wife. I look at her and I said, your face looks like home to me. Like I see pretty.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Okay.
I tell her my face looks like home to me. And it's interesting. I said that in my vows, and Montel said, you should have told me that before the wedding. I could have wrote a song. But it's like, is that kind of emotional attachment that I want to have? It's like even leaving her and being away from her for a couple of days. I got to go to West Virginia to do a show after this, but I can't wait to get back and be around her.
Right.
So to me knowing that I've waited this long to be in a relationship like this, I'm not going to see something at a show and be like, oh, I'm gonna have those feelings for some random person I meet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's one wild week, and I learned. Part of the reason I'm here is because I learned. I wouldn't say from my mistakes, but I learned from my experiences.
You learned before your mistakes.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Well, I learned before experiences become mistakes. Exactly.
Right.
But I'm gonna keep it 100. Only 1 week?
I mean, a lot can happen in
Slime,
1
you've
week.
been out. You've been outside for quite some time.
I've been out.
He just said he went loose for 1 week. That's a lot, bro. That can happen with a hit record, with a big hit record,
with a record like that.
Huge.
You know.
And you know what?
Huge record.
I know how trifling your ass is, so I knew that question was coming. I knew that shit was coming.
I know. I'm just saying. But that's dope, man. Because you know what I am. I love love. So I don't know. We're gonna because if he don't drink his shot, he will drink it when he comes back out. Okay. Aretha Franklin or Patti LaBelle?
Aretha, dude. Aretha. Rocksteady. Rocksteady is like, I put that up as one of the best records in terms of the hype, her singing, the track, the chant, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's the break beat in it. Just that one record. And then, I mean, you know, there's obviously other big things that she's done and the like, but from my hip hop heart, Aretha Franklin.
Okay. I respect that. Iced Tea or Ice Cube? Cases of the ice.
Oh, man. Both. Go ahead and drink.
All right, I'm in.
T, I haven't seen T in ages.
I like how you call people like you got special names for other people.
No, I mean,
like, you call Dana. You call Queen Latifah Dana.
you know, I haven't seen him in a long time, but
it's a shot you got to take. Yeah, continue.
This motherfucker drank the whole shit.
I haven't seen him in a long time. But,
Ice-T?
Yeah, Ice-T in a long time. But the influence that Colors had, and to take that and you know, that was a massive record on the West Coast. Influential, eye-opening to people that were outside the culture or outside of LA, didn't know about gang culture. There was so much, you know, that went with that record.
Yeah, I was scared watching that video.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was scared.
And then Cube, obviously my experience with him in NWA, what he's been able to do as a solo artist.
It's Cube versus Ice-T?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
late to the party.
Cases of the ice.
Late to the party.
So it's almost, although they do overlap, it's almost like asking me about two different sections of my life, because I knew Ice-T when he was an established solo artist in LA when I was first starting out. And I knew Cube at the same time as a member of NWA, to see him grow to that.
Right.
So that's why I'd say both.
He said both.
I drank it already. Relax.
You drank it already? All right.
He just took homie shot because he wanted to keep drinking that orange shit.
Yeah, I don't know. That orange don't look good at all.
No, it's good. It's really good, actually.
Sure?
Yeah, it's really good.
Good. All right, cool. Go to the next one. E?
Vamos a ver, chico. Here we go. Did you say?
Hold up, we got Ice-T on the phone.
Hey!
What up, man?
Yeah, that's Young MC right there.
Hey!
Young MC, man.
Young MC.
What? When's the last time I saw
Grab
you,
the phone,
dude?
grab the phone.
When's the last time I saw you?
Turn the screen. Turn
the screen.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
This nigga. Yo, you still there? What's up? What?
Where y'all at?
I'm at Drink Champs now.
Yeah.
I'm doing my episode.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. N.O.R.E, man.
Yeah, it's all good. I just can't believe how long it's been since I've seen you. Since I got out of LA, it's been ages, dude.
Hold on.
Hey, you know me, man. I'm like, I'm in the booth in the back in the corner in the dark, man.
Wonderful, man.
You know, love is still there. Love is real.
Thank you, man.
We ain't gotta see each other. There's no love.
Well, you get the same from me, man. I'm so proud of you to see what has developed, you know, with you and your career. And like I was just telling them, Colors is one of the most influential records still to this day. And I think started the path to what we did on All in the Same Gang, culminating with what happened with Kendrick at the pop-up.
Yo, man, that was beautiful. But I mean, with Kendrick, that got me kind of emotional to see all the LA niggas on point.
But that's what all of us were trying to do. I know that's what All in the Same Gang was trying to do, was what Kendrick accomplished in terms of having people from different places all up on the same stage like that.
Yeah, West Coast feels they have a common enemy. Not saying he was the enemy, but he was the opponent.
Right.
And when the West Coast feels their attack in any kind of way, they join up.
Right.
They lock in.
Right.
And the first truce happened behind the police.
Right.
Rodney King riots. Right.
That happened when the cops, with the riots and all that. So we truced up. But then, when Kendrick sounded that alarm, says, yeah, he not like us. LA joined forces, which hopefully, we can make that a real thing, not just a video,
I think it felt so good that I think there's more that's going to come from that.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and then it doesn't have to be about anybody or an opponent or a rapper.
Right.
It just needs to happen for LA, period.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you back to N.O.R.E.
Yeah. Yo, thank you. I'm meet you later on. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Yo, nah.
He's such a legend, man.
That's such a legend. Skipping around like how you said earlier, it was kind of like a moment, like what he just said. He was like, it's unfortunate because, at the end of the day, we don't want to see two black people beefing, right? We don't want that, right? But now we got to also look at the good with the bad.
Positive,
a seesaw goes up and down.
You can support it without being against the opponent, right?
But like I said, it was so crazy that when I seen that picture again, I did not know that was rappers. I thought it was just people.
But you mean the group picture at the end?
The group picture. When
that
I saw
all the artists that performed.
I didn't know those was artists until the end.
Dance and everybody,
But when I seen that, I was like, that's all in the same gang.
Yeah.
That's the first thing and maybe my soul is old, or maybe I don't care. Like I was just like, I saw that, and then they was like, yo, we got Young MC on. I was like, this is so perfect. It's a perfect timing because again, you're originally from the East Coast, New York, like how we established, but you made your bones and how you said you cut your teeth in LA.
Yeah.
So you seeing that? I know I asked you something like that earlier, but to reiterate it, like when you saw that, what was you thinking?
No, it warmed my heart because that was the whole thing. Like I said, like when we recorded All in the Same Gang, there were certain people, you couldn't have all the artists in the same studio recording it. You had to book appointments.
Right.
I don't think I drove myself. I think I was picked up, did my shit, picked up, taken home.
Wow.
Nobody else there.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You not gang affiliated.
No.
And people said that, sorry to cut you, but people said that about the artists that were at the pop-up. They said the same thing, that a lot of those artists and their entourages, those sections could not be together. And this is the first time that a lot of these people could be together.
But, I did hear that, but I also heard that they actually went to rehearsals together.
No, but I'm saying the whole
vibe.
The way it came together.
So everybody had to be with it.
Right, they had to be with it. They all had to unify.
Right.
Crazy, that's crazy. Yeah, I put the West Coast shit together too. Big up my man Ice-T. He was Beijing up too, by the way.
Listen, don't talk, buddy.
Hey, I've been rewinding time, wiping time.
Rewind is Beijing.
Yeah, rewind is Beijing. That's
Juice or Boys in the Hood?
Connect.
Oh no, Boys in the Hood. I went to college with John Singleton. John Singleton was 1 year younger than me, so I remember walking out of Boys in the Hood speechless.
Right.
Not only because it's my friend, but just to see the drama of it coming up, learning about LA.
Through cinema?
No, through living there.
He was there.
Yeah, I was there. So.
But seeing now it being depicted is what you're saying. That you walked away.
And like I said, I miss John. Going to school with John too, just to see what he became as a director. It was like amazing. So yeah.
Okay, that was simple.
Last but not least.
Oh, that's where we at?
Yep.
Loyalty or respect?
I'm sorry y'all don't have to drink, but I'm gonna say loyalty.
Okay.
And the reason is there's a lot of people that can respect you, but you can respect somebody you don't know. You can even respect somebody you don't like. But if I know somebody is loyal to me, I'm gonna bust my ass to make sure they respect me. Because the worst position you could be in is someone being loyal to you who doesn't respect you. Like that is like, to me, that is almost like slavery, like forced servitude. Like I can't leave, like, you know, I'm gonna show you my loyalty, but I really don't respect you. That's a mixture of feelings that I can't even relate to. So if someone expresses loyalty to me, my actions are gonna dictate that hopefully they'll respect me. But if someone respects me, I don't know what it's gonna take for them to be loyal to me, and I probably don't care. But if I know the loyalty is there, that's gonna be, you know, nourished and cherished, you know, with respect.
I never heard that shit.
Yeah.
Never heard that shit.
He personally fucked me
I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Hey, he'll give y'all a reason to drink.
Yeah.
Dale que tú puedes. All right, guys. Hasta luego.
Let's meet you too, man.
Don't break the chair, Charles.
All right, let me make sure. I know I asked you somewhat of this.
Circles?
Yeah, no, because you know why?
We didn't touch
It's because hip hop changed so much.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I said it earlier, like I sincerely believe that I would have done hip hop if I didn't get paid. But then it became a business and people forced me to think like that.
Right.
Forced me to want to be in big business as opposed to being the big artistry. And I didn't care. This is a question that we didn't ask you on Quick Time with Slime, and this is me and EFN's question that we always, you know, part ways on, but we agree to a certain extent. But if you had a chance to choose, would you say independent or you go with a major label?
Today I would go with independent.
Okay.
25 years ago, I'd go with a major.
Can you explain that?
Independence only had so much sway. And the big advantage of a major is that they had the money and the access to pressing plants.
They had the monopoly on it.
They had the monopoly.
Right.
So if you wanted to sell 1 million records in a month,
right,
you couldn't really do that as an indie. You'd have to front the money to a pressing plant that didn't have something else going on that could make that many records, get it out to the stores, and you don't have a stick to hit those record stores over the head with. You at Universal, you put out a record, they don't pay you, like, yo, you want the next Eminem? You better pay me on this last one. You an independent, and you put a record out to the record stores and they owe you for a couple 100,000 records and you don't have another artist, you're waiting on them. So that's why I'd want to be with a major then. Now with the streaming, whatever, I'd rather be with an independent. But you talk about the business, I make the first record, get into a lawsuit with Delicious Vinyl, find out about publishing, all this other stuff, make a publishing deal outside with N.O.R.E. Delicious wanted me, but I took less money to go outside. I make a record called That's the Way Love Goes that was for an artist named Johnny C. Johnny C was either a de facto member or affiliated closely with the Ghetto Boys. So I fly to Houston. He's the one that they thought would cross over. You know,
he was on Rap a Lot?
I believe so. I met
Jay Prince?
Yeah, I met Jay. Yeah, met
okay,
Jay,
so
and Bushwick, and yeah. Okay. So that record ends up not happening, but I have a 6-figure publishing deal that I have to fulfill. So That's the Way Love Goes all of a sudden becomes my record, even though I didn't write it for me. So that's a decision that was spurred by business because I wanted to make sure the publishing company that backed me for 10 full songs was made whole. When the biggest song that I was trying to do for the publishing deal didn't happen, I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'll put it out. It's fine, but I know if I had the ability to approach it just as making a record for me, that probably wouldn't have been the record. It was a record by necessity for business, as opposed to being a record for artistry to move Young MC forward. I was just moving the business forward. So I get it.
That was great. That was great.
I'm so impressed that I'm impressing you even high and drunk.
No.
Listen, that means so much to me.
Let me ask you another one.
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite? Making the record or performing the record?
See, we ain't in the Quick Time of Slime.
Well, I'll take a drink too.
No, I know you would. I
know you would.
You know what? I have to say both.
I'm gonna take a drink.
I'm just gonna drink my.
You ain't got a shot though?
Nah.
Crazy hood.
Oh no, crazy.
I'll make sure he got a shot.
He finished the bottle, dude.
He did.
Before I would make the record saying, this sounds good, let me see what it's like on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Now I make the record, now I make the record knowing what the stage is gonna be. Mm-hmm. Like, this will be the part that people call and response. The bottom end, literally, I was taking my new record to my shows and sound checking it, and then looking at the monitors that the soundman had to see what frequencies needed to be raised or lowered, putting that in my phone and then going back and doing a session. And I would do that 2 and 3 times. I'll tell you, the song is called Loose. This is the cover for it. I worked on it for 2 years. No bullshit. And that experience.
One record.
One song. And
2 years.
2 years. But it wasn't like every day, whatever. But right. I'm thinking the record's done. Oh, what if I do this? And then the AI component, like, oh, what if I took the disco theory and I made it a character? So all of that stuff was over that time, putting all that together. But the culmination of that is that I perform that record as well or better than anything else that I do.
And did you have to clear her?
Do I have a what?
No, it's his.
No.
Can we hear this record?
Yes.
Can you play it on your phone?
I have my computer. Either on, yeah.
I like he called you dude.
He been calling you.
I've been jealous all night. What's his name? Yellow Wolf called me dude.
Nobody ever called you dude?
I like being called dude.
Man, get out of here, bro.
Been called nigga my whole life. Being called dude is okay.
I just want to hear this record.
Okay. Extended master. If it's a sauce or a garnish, I think it's a good thing. If you're trying to make music from scratch, there's supposedly on the streaming services there are thousands of records made that generated don't have actual artists and all that. I'm not with that, dude. I'm looking at it as a tool to enhance what I do.
Right, like auto-tunes was a tool that people used.
The way I look at it is like this. In 2008, I finally, after 20 some odd, 28 years of rapping, I decided to really look into rhyming dictionaries. Because my thought process was, it's not that the words are not in my vocabulary, they're just not in my head at the moment I'm writing that line. But if I was to see something, if I have a line in mind and I see a word that rhymes with it, that'll spark other lines. So I said, let me use that as a tool. And I've already written, I've written multi-platinum records in like 3 different decades at that point. So I'm like, okay, let me try and make the best of it. Let me see what I can do. And I fell in love with like the 4 and 8 line couplets. In terms of rhyming A and then A, B, B, I almost don't do that anymore. You get to the 3rd line, I want to bring back the rhyme again. I have a record called Nocturnal. Made that in 2008. Has, to me, the best verse that I've ever written in my life. And I still perform it, at least in my longer shows, to this day. And it just falls into the same thing of continuing a rhyme scheme. I was doing a 90s show and I'm sound checking and I see this dude setting up chairs, young kid, maybe 20. So I start my 3rd verse of Nocturnal. I get through 4 lines, he's bobbing his head. I get to the 5th line, continue the rhyme scheme, he starts smiling. I get to the 9th line, continue the rhyme scheme, he's like almost laughing. I get to the 13th line, he's looking at me to change it and I don't change it. And he's dancing now. Right. And then I finish the whole verse and I'm like, that's what I want. This kid was working. He's like, I was just background until I became more than background. You know what I mean? So you want me to spit? I'll spit.
No, if you want.
Yeah, spit.
We're here.
Okay.
I'm setting the tone for those that were sweating alone. You were thinking that your life was just set in the stone. If you worry about your sins, you better atone, cause I be creeping through the night just like a predator drone. Let it be known. Call your people, get on the phone. Calm your homegirl down. Look like she ready to bone. Someone got her liquored up and gave her steady Patron. I can smell it on her body like some heavy cologne. Let her go home. Put her in the bed on her own. If she feels sick, let her put her head on the throne. Cause it's better than a stranger trying to get her to moan. Thought he had a green light. There's some red in the zone. Never be known. Woo! Things that can never be shown. In the cover of the night, though the cover was blown. There's a happy ending here, tragedy postponed, but tomorrow night is still unknown. It's nocturnal.
Woo! Man, you wrote a verse about Charlie, bro.
Yeah.
I did that in the show that you saw me do.
Okay.
That's one of the records I did in the show you saw me do. Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever felt out of love with hip hop?
No.
Never?
No, because hip hop has never been one thing. Like, no one could ever change hip hop for me. Hip hop is going to be what it's going to be. When I was 10 and first went into Jeff Taylor, aka Grandmaster Key's basement on 210th Street in Hollis. You know what I mean? And I'm rapping over 2 Good Times or 2 Bounce Rock Skates or 2 Walk This Ways or 2 Big Beats.
That feeling you maintained it, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be disappointed.
In what? I'm
asking.
What am I going to be disappointed in?
Okay.
I mean, when my record was out, I didn't want everybody sounding like me.
Cool.
So when other people's records are out, why should I feel I need to sound like them, do exactly what they do? I took some of the heat, you know, for the time when hip hop was trying to get established. By the time I stopped having hit records, hip hop was established. So if someone else is out there fucking up, it's not on me. It's not on me. I still got mine. I'm still doing mine. I'm still performing, still doing all that. It's like, oh man, I really hate what they did to what I love. No, it's too much of a dynamic, you know, entity to say that someone has changed it to the point where I'm gonna
multi-generational.
Yeah. And dude, I could have done something else. I have a bachelor's degree. I could have gone to grad school. I could easily do something else. I choose to do this, so nothing is going to keep me. Nothing's going to keep me from doing this, dude. So regardless of what I see out there, I wish certain things wouldn't happen and things wouldn't get, I'm hearing about the scene down here in Miami, how violent it gets and that kind of thing. I wish those things wouldn't happen. But in terms of my love for hip hop, nah, that's unbreakable.
And it's a blessing that you could make a living doing this.
Yeah. I've written musician on my tax return for 37 years.
God damn it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what else would I do? Even people say, oh man, you hate having a record like Bust a Move. If you say that there's 370 million people in this country, that's just around there. If I said 200 to 250 million of those people know Bust a Move. If I were to say that. My thought process is, regardless of what school I went to and all that, what else would I do to touch that many people? One hit wonder or not. I know I'm not a one hit wonder, but I'm saying if that's all you know me for, you know me. Cool.
Most people are just trying to get known.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's hit that first verse of Bust a Move. Let's hit it.
Really?
Let's hit it. You come on, let's go.
That's what you want to hear because I'm rhyming. You want to do that?
You got me in the mood. You got me in the mood. Let's go.
I never do acapellas, but I will do it for you.
You got me.
My man taping me.
That's. I don't know if you know.
He's in the team. He's on the team. He's on the team.
He's on camera.
Yeah.
They with us. Yes.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough.
Really? All right. I'll tell you something real quick.
Okay,
a lot of times, someone want to get up on stage and say they know the hook and sing the hook. Invariably, and I've had this talk with Master G, where you get to a certain place in the record and they think they know what's coming. Like after the first verse, you don't say you want it, you got it. It's But girls will start singing you want it, you got it where it doesn't belong. Right. And like in Rapper's Delight, when the first time you say Hotel Motel, it's not Holiday Inn. It's what you're going to do today. But the first time they say Hotel Motel, invariably, somebody's like, Holiday Inn. Like, no, nigga, that's not it. So literally, my first hook I get to is like, somebody say yeah, just to drown out the people singing you want it, you got it, because they don't know it. And I need to know where I am to kind of, go forward. So anyway.
Okay.
This here's a jam for all the fellas. Try to do what those ladies tell us. Get shut down because you're overzealous. Play hard to get females, get jealous. Okay, smarty, go to a party. Girls are scantily clad and showing body. Chick walks by, you wish she could sex up, but you're standing on a wall like you was Poindexter. Next stage function, high class luncheon. Food is served in your stone cold muncheon. Music comes on, people start to dance, but you ate so much, you nearly split your pants. Girl starts walking, guy start gawking, sits down next to you and starts talking. Says she want to dance because she likes the group. Come on, Fatso, and just bust a move.
Hey.
No. Don't put false information out there. That don't go there.
Wait, can we do one more request? Do you know your verse off of this?
Yes, I do know my verse of that. Okay.
Oh yeah, because you've been.
I've been performing.
I think this verse is so ill, man.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yes, I can do it. We're gonna talk some more.
It's written?
This is what's dope
Really?
about this
That's-
record. Yeah.
That I didn't.
Look
Wow.
That's fire.
Yeah. On
Oh, but you just let him get his verse though.
No. No, but I'm,
He was supposed to
but I'm-
remember
but
it.
I'm looking.
He knows.
He
He
gave him the
said
cheat
performing
code.
it.
No, I've been performing it. So
Okay.
no, but it's interesting. And above the law, shout out to Hutch, man. Golly. Ice-T, Michelle,
Michelle A.
Oaktown 357, Hammer, Digital, JJ Fad. Come on, man. And that's the single version. I only got 8.
Right.
I only got 8 in the
Could you do the
in the
verse?
single verse. Yeah. Brothers. Killing other brothers. I thought the idea was to love one another. Open up the paper to one more death. If y'all keep this up, then there'll be no one left. I try my best to set an example, saying hype lyrics over hip-hop samples. Not just to brag or to boast, but to inform, because we're living in the calm before the storm. You see, I believe that the children are the future, but what's it all about if in the future they shoot you? We're all human beings. If a cut, we're bleeding. I want to see all young people succeed. Do 9 to 5, not 5 to 10. Just go to work and not the state pen, because you live better when you're out here free. That's coming straight to you from the young MC. Come on. Now, I will preface it with that. I perform it better now than I wrote it,
That's
but
dope.
just the cadence
Yeah.
to have that on a West Coast record in 1990 was not done.
Nah.
That-
and the
that-
video,
that-
the way you came in too.
Yeah,
like,
it's
dope,
just like
dope.
they had me walking. I was in a white
Yeah,
tee. Yeah.
super dope.
But you know what's the crazy thing about that message? It's like we still have to have that same message nowadays.
But see,
That's
but that's the thing. The brilliance of my conception is knowing that I could give that message. I'm not going to talk about sets and places and things I don't know about. I'm not going to do that. And we didn't even have to have a discussion. I'm on here. People are listening. They're expecting one thing. Let me give them, what I'm feeling. And even getting on stage, like there's some places I don't do it where the record doesn't resonate as much now, but I want to do that verse. And it's, yeah, man, it's good.
No, but I mean in general for like black people in hip hop,
Yeah.
the fact that that record is still relevant because we're still going through that type of conditions in the communities. What do you think? Like that's
Like
crazy.
self-destruction as well.
Like self-destruction, yeah, same thing.
Like these records were actually dope. They were
Right.
dope records with great messages that resonated. And now it's like, it feels like we can't do those records.
Well, here's the thing. You remember this, both of you probably remember
Yeah.
this as kids. You know when some crazy shit would happen in the hood or crazy stuff would happen and it didn't make the news and nobody talked about it except in the neighborhood, people that saw it, story to story. With the internet, that doesn't happen.
Right.
Any little thing, crazy thing that someone does, it's worldwide.
Right.
So, not saying that there's less going on now, but what there is going on now is amplified so much in a way that wasn't before. So there's no sweeping under the rug. There's no keeping it on the low. Everything's like blasted out there. So you see the need for it, but you're seeing the need for it, a record like that, in the context of every little piece of news being amplified like it's, on the 6 o'clock news.
Amplified without context as well.
Well, yes, because everybody has short attention spans.
Right.
So who, why, where, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, once again.
And everybody's polarized as to what's going on.
Right.
So if I go on your iPod right now,
I don't own an iPod, but I hear you. But I mean,
I go on your music selection.
Yeah.
iPod is even, you dated yourself with that one.
Yeah, my bad. Who is the young MC to you?
Wow.
Who is a young MC that reminds you a young MC to you?
I don't,
J. Cole.
Yeah, man. Stop
I mean,
leading the witness.
I mean,
Who are you back there with your baby blue outfit?
well, that's the thing. I mean, I have love for J. Cole because the idea of, and even, Drake to a certain extent, the idea of singing and rapping were two different things in my day. Like you couldn't become melodic in a song.
Right.
Without being considered a different type of
Like
artist.
Eric Sermon was one of the earliest people.
Right.
I remember trying to do that.
Right.
and J. Cole got out of that beef immediately. Exit right.
And
Respect it.
So-
and he did the right thing.
So I listen to a lot of people just to see where they're taking the music. You know what I mean? Like what they're doing with the music. So there's not one specific MC that I'm like, oh, waving a flag. Drake's done a lot. Drake has done a lot in terms of establishing fan base, in terms of the different types of records he makes. And Kendrick is a lyricist.
He's done a lot for lyricism.
No, well, here's the
right
thing.
now.
I'm coming from a time when lyricism and West Coast were never said in the same sentence.
Right.
So if you are going to somebody who lives on the East Coast now, they could literally say Kendrick Lamar is the best lyricist. I never thought I would ever hear anyone outside of the West Coast saying that a West Coast artist was the best lyricist or represented lyricism in the way that Kendrick is now. So like all of those things, all of those artists, I look and I can appreciate different elements of, you know, what they do, battles notwithstanding. Kendrick being known as the consummate lyricist and being from the West Coast shows an evolution of hip hop that I did not think I would see in my lifetime. Just did not think.
Yeah.
Because of the perception of the coast. Of the
Perception
area.
of the coast.
Although Cube, I think, was respected as a lyricist early on.
No, Cube was respected as a lyricist, but the thing is that Cube was such a figure with NWA, with what he said, all that. It's just different now in terms of, you know, a backpacker will look at Kendrick and Kendrick's lyrics and Kendrick's lyrical. Like Kendrick happens because he's influenced by so many things and people, you know. So someone like Kendrick on the West Coast.
On a different stage.
Yeah.
He's taking it on a different stage.
Yeah. Right. No, all respect to Q. All respect to Q. I'm looking at it that this was a lyrical exercise and you know, of all kind of subject matters all over the place, and Kendrick is regarded as the lyricist.
Because I think LA did have a hub for lyricism. You had like the exhibits, the alcoholics, the King
Razzcast.
the Razzcast, the Della Funky Homo Sapiens.
Game is a lyricist, man.
Yeah,
like,
of course, of course.
And
even the Loonies, like
Even Quick. But I'm saying in terms of,
but I get
if you went out of the West Coast sphere influence, a lot of those names
it wouldn't translate.
Exactly.
That's what,
now it translates.
Right.
Now it translates. There's somebody in Brooklyn, there's somebody in the Bronx that'll say Kendrick Lamar's the best lyricist. That
like nobody on the West Coast was ever considered potentially the king of hip hop.
Right.
You know, the top tier.
Right.
But now it does.
Lyricist.
No, I mean that concert. When I seen that Kendrick concert, it did seem like that he was being crowned the king.
Like you have like the Jay-Z's, the Nas, the Biggies,
like
the Kendrick.
not of the West Coast. Even though it was a West Coast collaboration and all that, but it didn't. That night when I watched that concert, it seemed like he was being crowned king of hip hop.
That's what I think. That's what I think people need to understand. Like it's a pro for hip hop. It's a positive for hip hop.
Yeah.
You could love what's happening there and not have to be against Drake.
You don't have to be against Drake. We ain't against Drake over here. We like light-skinned people.
Drake has done things that no one has done in hip hop, and he's been able to. He's been able to open things up to a new audience, and just his approach and
internationally, right?
And there's been so many rappers that have come from mixtapes that weren't able to translate it into albums, and he has.
Right. Yeah.
There's usually guys that
that's true. He comes from the mixtape side.
There's dudes that did mixtapes, were okay at it, and become amazing artists. And the dudes that were amazing on mixtapes, and you don't hear much about it, or the first album comes out and it's not, you know, cohesive enough for people to really digest it as an album. He seamlessly went into that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive to me.
And what's dope is like, the world is probably trying to say that like that was a loss for him. But the fact is, if he doesn't seem damaged, he'll be okay. He's not going away.
I look at it because it's like how I said that I get different inspirations from different artists. Mm-hmm. I see it as a different lane.
For him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just see it as a different lane. There's places that he goes and audiences he plays in front of that other people don't. So, and same for Kendrick, same for J. Cole, like they have their niches. So I don't necessarily see it. I see it. Really what I see the upshot of it is that the record companies are getting scared because you had guys making records in a week, putting it up there.
But on the low, it's the same record label.
No. But my thing is this.
Interscope and Universal is the same people.
But here's the point.
Yeah.
These records were conceived of in a week, put up, and then they take down the top artists that you've been planning with all your departments for months.
Or don't put out that record because this is happening. This bad.
So regardless of what label, all right, they're in one lane. But one artist or two artists can get into a beef and be putting out records to the point where major labels are like, yo,
hip-hop artists. to show how the power of hip hop as well.
Yeah.
Two hip hop artists can get into a beef, be putting out records to where the major label says, you rock act, you pop act, you're gonna have to wait until these dudes' feud is over.
True.
Because everything we do with all our departments
huge, yeah.
can't fuck with this right now.
It's true.
That's crazy, dude.
Yes.
That's to me. That's
an
the
ill
upshot.
way to look at it.
That's the upshot of all of it. It's like it's literally like a speedboat stopping a tanker.
Right.
It's like, oh no, we got to let the speedboat go by. We got to let these two speedboats race it out, and we're gonna stop this ocean line until they're done because they have the water right now. We don't have the water. That dude, that's the way you need to look at it.
So Drake and Kendrick, I would like to personally thank y'all. I have been fully entertained. And even J. Cole, I like the J. Cole shit. I ain't like that he just left so fast.
No, but to me, no, and I'll defend you. I've never met him, but I'll defend him. That was a mature move on his part. If that's,
if that's how you feel, if that's how you feel, then
Yeah,
you gotta say
I'm not
that.
mad at what he did, man.
Yeah.
I saw
The grown man in me like that.
Right.
The little nigga in me that is not.
I saw an interview with DJ Head, who was the DJ that
Shout
opened.
out to DJ Head,
yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Shout out to Head.
Never met him, but he was with Big Boy, who I met. So I'm watching an interview, and he said that he's only listened to Meet the Grahams only 4 or 5 times because it affected, it affected his spirit listening to it. I respect him. He's in Kendrick Lamar's crew. You mean he's part of that.
Close to it, yeah. He's very close, super close. I mean, we see him, he's there.
He's in that circle, and he felt the comfort to be able to, to say that's what, what's in his heart. To me, that shows such a growth that everybody doesn't have to be like, okay, whatever happens, we're blindly following. That shows such a level of maturity.
It's true.
Yeah. Like, once again, my day wouldn't see that.
Right.
You with me or you against me? Right. You can't say anything that you can't. Man, it's like there's so much of that made me feel so good that I was even involved back in the day.
If back then you would have had Twitter, you think you would have been out here in DMs?
Out here in DMs?
You know what?
What does that mean?
You know what it means.
I know what it means. I may have been, even if I didn't want to be. Even if I didn't type the DMs, somebody would type something to me and then post that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of us that are thankful that social media wasn't what it was. It's just some of the stories that I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And some just, oh yeah, absolutely.
Because y'all was living wild back then.
Oh,
you only had 1 week.
Well, yeah,
he had 1 week. I don't believe that 1 week at all.
No, it's true.
You had 1 year, and it looked like 1 week.
Nah, dude, it was 1 week. And I had enough for.
You know, when he decided it was 1 week, it was crazy.
No, but yeah, but that's the thing, dude. It's like I learned from my experiences. That's why I'm still here. Right. That's why I'm still good.
What's your favorite part of the culture? Like, if you could praise one thing about the culture,
it's dude. It's funny because I'm here with you. It's the camaraderie. You and I don't know each other very well. We've only met each other, a couple times. But like, we could hang, we could have discussions, we could.
But we love hip hop.
Love hip hop. So it's like us playing a sport.
You're part of my family. I'm a part of yours.
It's like us playing the same sport in 2 different leagues. You know what I mean? We haven't played each other. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of camaraderie. When I hear athletes that retire and say that that's what they miss, that's why I like. All them questions you asked, if you had anybody that was on the 90s tour, I'm going to pick them because they're like family.
Right.
Couple hundred shows in the middle of nowhere, all the jokes, sitting around. There was one, and since COVID, it's been very difficult to find people to clean hotel rooms. So invariably, we'll be sitting, a bunch of us, for hours in hotel lobbies in the smallest places. So me, Tone, Montel Jordan, sitting in the lobby, talking at least a couple of hours, stories coming up.
This is how y'all do it.
Man, just fun. Just fun. Yes, we caught. You see, yeah, I see. I kept talking like I didn't hear that shit.
No, but you know what? You are very correct, man. Like I said, I was saying it earlier, like how going on the road with somebody, like you get to learn that people, you get to understand that certain people feet stink, and you like, damn, man, I don't want to be around him in this hotel room. But I realized that I would do this show in Hot 97, and it was called Hot Night Jamaica, right? And we would go there, and everybody who I went there with, I always formed a relationship with, and it's because of what you just said. It's just like, you know, we're a fraternity without calling ourselves a fraternity. What is it? That's what it is. The college shit.
I've not seen Mix-a-Lot. I had not seen Mix-a-Lot in a couple of years, and we just had a show. I want to say it was it outside of
Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Oh man, I want to say no, it wasn't Memphis. Outside of Tulsa, Okmulgee, Oklahoma. I want to say.
Yeah.
That white people.
Tone Loc, Rob Bass, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, Sir Mix-a-Lot, and I think one other act. But we had not seen each other in a long time, and to get the picture and to sit and talk and whatever, it's like we never, you know, we never spent any time apart. I hadn't seen Tretch in a hot minute. He's supposed to come to my wedding, he couldn't come. You know what I'm saying? It was just that feeling, and knowing to be a part of it, especially when guys can go out and see other guys' sets. Like that new song, I can't wait to do that new song in front of Tretch. I think he's going to be with me tomorrow in West Virginia, but I know over the next 2 weeks to 3 weeks, I'm going to do a show with him where I'll do that in front of him, and just to get his reaction to it and you know, talk to him about what I'm doing and that kind of thing. It's great. You see them more than you see your friends. You see them more than you see a lot of your family, but there's a mutual respect. So that's why I'm still going at it, you know, at this age.
God damn it, man. I just want to thank you, man, for everything you do for hip-hop, man.
Thank you, man.
For being here on Drink Champs, man.
I want to shout out, I've got to shout out one person.
Absolutely. Continue.
My best friend, best man at my wedding, Antonio Knox, young rapper that I met him as, came out of Baltimore. But he has been such an inspiration to me, and just kind of keeping me grounded and being a good sounding board. So when I told him I was doing this, he's like, yo, man, this is, you know, he knew how big this was for me. And after all the discussions, like a lot of the answers I gave, I've discussed with him, but I'm not throwing names out and whatever. But Antonio Knox is my man.
Well, big him up, but let us tell you, man, like, you know, when we give these people flowers, when we, y'all heroes, man, like, you know what I'm saying? To me, everybody, and I know how it feels, man. I know how it feels to walk in those shoes. I know how it feels to be in those locker rooms.
Veterans, man, y'all veterans.
And you know what I'm saying? So what we do is so much, you know, sometimes underrated. You know what I mean? That I love this, man. I was so excited to have you come through. We were betting on you. I lost the bet. I lost the bet.
You were betting that when you think I'd ghost you like Ice did?
No. We bet on time. This guy. We bet on time. I said you would be here at 3:45.
Me and Jason went out and we had sushi down the street. That's the only reason it's 2 minutes late, because it took a long time for them to make this.
I don't know what they talking about, man. 2 minutes do not count.
I'm an artist. Like, you know what's crazy? As an artist, I always came late, but then as a businessman, I never come late. I always there so early. But I always understand. But we got him. Look.
All right.
This is
cap it off.
He said that if he had to pick a beat between anybody in the world to save the world, he would pick Scott Storch. All the goddamn beat. And we got Scott Storch right there. You see him?
Great to meet you, man.
That young MC, Scott Storch. He said if he can save the world, he'll pick you to make the beat, Scott.
Where's the volume on this?
Oh shit! Oh, whose phone is it?
Let's make the beat, bro.
You can tell he don't spend no money on his phone. Oh, my bad.
It's all the way up.
It's all the way up. He knows. That's what he said.
No, I'm down, dude. Feature whatever you want. You know what I mean? I'm down. I'm a big fan of your work. From what you did with Cube and what you did with Method Man, I'm a big fan of your work, and you inspired me as an artist and a producer, dude. So that's what's up, man. Because I've watched several episodes and nobody drops your name. I'm like, no, it would be you, and then the MC would be Starang Wonder from Boot Camp Click.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
We got to track him down.
So absolutely, man. So wonderful to meet you, dude.
Likewise.
My man, Scott Storch. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. You got to upgrade your phone, man. Yeah, man. Your shit sound like a Metro. You got. What's the shit? What's the Sprint? What's the Nextel? You sound like you got a Nextel. It's your phone, man. It's you. Nah, that was dope, man. I love that, man. I love. When he just snuck off. All right, here you gonna come and take a shot for no reason. Let's go. This is the way it works. You're gonna take a shot for no reason. Because you take it for Young MC. That's what we mean.
Oh, okay.
That's what we. Yeah, just give him any shot. So this anything. Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you ever passed on that you regret?
Specifically, I saw how bad sampling could get people in trouble after what happened with 3 Feet High and Rising, and then
De La Soul?
yeah, and then the thank you, and then the gosh, what record? The Bismarcky. Before All Samples Clear, the one they pulled.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this and I'm saying it's so much going on, and even some of my records, that weren't clear, they stuff had to come back and be dealt with. So the record that would have been a single for me, I had a huge sample in it, and I chose not to go that route. Changed it around, and I didn't really realize at the time that a lot of what people liked about those records was the sample
Yeah, the
itself.
samples, yeah, because they was familiar with
Right.
the subconscious.
I just saw, and Bust a Move had samples in it, but they weren't well known.
Okay.
So my thought was, if you can get it to sound like a sample or sound like
Without
it's from
it being
period,
a sample,
without it being something obvious, you could win like that. Because I've had life experience doing that. But in hindsight, looking back, if I was more open to putting samples in my stuff back then, then I think I would have been able to continue my career on a certain level a little bit longer.
Right. Okay, now let me extend that question just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Let me relate it to an artist. Is there any artist that you had the opportunity to work with and you didn't have to do that?
I would say no. I mean,
Prince? Like I know we spoke about him earlier.
But if Prince reached out to me, you know what I mean? Like no one on that.
Oh no, we said Michael Jackson earlier.
It's something he
So if someone had reached out to me, I've never really been in a position where I'm saying no to a big artist or whatever. It's just never come to me. I wasn't in those circles. I went home too early.
Right.
So
okay, so I'm gonna ask you one.
You can ask me 10 more, dude. I'm here. I flew here to be with y'all.
We actually spoke about it earlier.
Yes, sir.
But let's speak about it again. Now, we said the one record to save the world.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't even pick yourself.
Right.
You picked Scott Storch and you picked Homeboy from OGC, right?
Yeah, but you said, I thought you said it as a feature.
Now,
Okay.
you got, for you, one record, Dead or Alive. What artist would you like to work with?
Oh, wow.
that you feature on it.
They feature
That's
it.
you
That's your
with
record.
them on it.
Yeah. Dead or Alive.
I would say Prince.
Prince?
I would say Prince just
I can see it.
Just because I'd want the challenge of whatever he would do musically.
Right.
And I pride myself on being able to rhyme over anything.
Right.
So if Prince, and it's iconic, if Prince were to come up with something that it was a theme or whatever, I'd love the challenge.
You would want him to come up with it.
No, I mean, I'd be guesting on his record. I'm not going to ask Prince to feature.
Right.
I mean, I'm guesting on his record.
No, that's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you. This is your feature.
I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. There's so many people that I love and respect, and it's I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know because it's not out of my circle. I would say Tretch. You know what I mean? Like my dream record would be me, Tretch, and Quick. That would be if you said features and say each got a verse. Me, Tretch, and Quick.
That sounds like a mean record.
Need to make that record happen.
I know. I'm pretty sure, but I want one of mine. That's my whole thing, man. It's like
It's gonna be on Drink Champs compilation.
I want the opportunity to have a record crack and then be able to pull in who I want to pull in, as opposed to putting the pressure of trying to get a current record to do something on the three. I want to make that record for fun on an upswing.
Right.
Or at least being at a certain plateau, as opposed to saying, oh, these artists whose biggest records were X amount of years old, trying to do something now. I'd want to kind of be beyond that,
Right.
In terms of doing that.
Jeez Louise, Papa Cheese. You ever met James Brown?
Never met James Brown.
Okay. I just feel like you his cousin.
You feel like
I know people. I want to say some people at the agency had worked with him touring, and I've heard stories and that kind of thing, but never met him personally. That's a bit before my time. But also in the 80s we could have crossed paths, but
Right,
it just
easily,
wasn't. But it just didn't come to fruition like that.
Right. Because I swear to God, when I asked you that question, when I said Dead or Alive, I thought you were going to say James Brown, but you said Prince. That's which is like, that's in the same league.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of his artistry, and just I wouldn't know what I was going to get. And that's what I'd want. There's so many different sounds that worked so well that whatever he came with, I know there'd be a level of genius behind that I wouldn't necessarily see coming, and I'd have to step up to that game. So that's why I'd say Prince.
I forgot, he's supposed to take your shot. You been here bullshitting.
There you go.
All right, my bad. You weren't supposed to let him get away with that. You weren't supposed to let him.
He been there waiting, I know.
Yeah.
Jamie, let me get some ice, please.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Take the picture.
I want to big you up once again, man, and just tell you how much you mean to hip hop. Not just me, not just us. It's like I said. I know this job. I know this job. I know what it takes. You can never take off your uniform.
Yeah.
Being a rapper, you could never take off your uniform.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I sometimes admire people that work in McDonald's, because when they get off at work, they can take their shit off. We can't never take our shit off.
You're right. You're right.
Wherever we go, we have to be. It's either you could be a target, you can be somebody they love, you can be somebody they bother. You know what I mean? So I know this job, and this job is, and to be doing it for 35 years. And to have a smile on your face.
I'm what MC8 would call the happy rapper. That when he said,
I want to be the happy rapper.
When he said that, I'm like, at this age, at this time, that resonates with me. Like I'm that guy.
That's dope, being a happy rapper.
I think so.
Hell yeah, because there's not a lot of happy motherfuckers.
No, trust me, I know, dog.
But thank you, man. We appreciate this, man. Sitting down with us, doing drink checks. We love it. But also, and I'm not saying this just to say this, this is your house. So many people, if you can't be used, you're useless. But so many people don't understand that. And so many people think that, but this is your house. When you want to come and you perform, or you want to talk about, your tours, this is it, man. Like we come and we're going to support it, man, because what you did and what you've done for our community is something that we always gonna salute.
Thank you. Now, there's a question you didn't ask me.
Let's go.
I'm gonna force it and answer.
Force it. Let's go.
You would ask radio or podcast?
Oh!
See?
The Colombians and Dominicans. I like that you're on point. Go ahead. Radio or podcast?
Radio or podcast. I would say radio for now,
right?
But podcasts in terms of how you view them evolving. When you said you want to make a podcast for somebody to break a record and put it out and go right to the audience and direct to consumer, that's the way it could be if it was regarded as such.
Right.
Radio still has its sway, you know what I mean? But if podcasts could get to where it was that organized and it wasn't so... Because there's no such thing as a regional podcast. There's only a podcast. Right. There could be a podcast that's set in a region, but it's competing worldwide.
Yeah.
Right, by the mere distribution of it. Right.
So that makes it difficult because you're literally picking one because guaranteed, whatever your nearest competition is will say, well, if you go on Drink Champs, you can't come here. Whereas if I go to the biggest station in LA, I can still go to the biggest station in Dallas.
Right.
Even if they're, family related, whatever. I can still do that. That's the power of radio. Right. Podcast needs to get to that point.
Right.
So that, because young people would say podcast because they don't see what radio did. I remember having to go to Houston and I got to go to 5 stations. If I go to 4, I'm going to lose all of them.
Right.
So I better go to 5 stations in Houston. You know what I'm saying? That's the power of radio.
Right.
So, yeah.
Damn. I remember we can't even get our records. Like, I remember I had to physically go to London.
Yeah.
To have London play my record. Like and we didn't speak about your England. You England a little too, right?
You
Yeah, man,
England?
I was
You
born,
England, man.
I was born in England, 1967. Went to New York in 1970, and then left New York in '85 to go to college. So no, no British accent, no Jamaican accent. I sound like I'm from the Midwest.
You could turn on your patois when you want. That's what Drain does.
Yeah, James, he be like Jamaican and England
He's
when
British
he want
Jamaican
to.
as well.
Yeah, like when he want to. I seen his accent jump out. Some Jamaicans come around, he be like, yeah. He starts sucking his teeth.
And he decided, is it a London Jamaican or is it a Jamaican from Jamaica?
I see somebody from England come around and him act like he was English too.
Yeah.
He was like, he's being sophisticated. They're like,
No.
you don't do that. You don't do none of that.
No.
You just young MC.
I'm just me.
Okay, all right, cool.
Me. Except for when I was imitating that lady at the Grammys, because that was.
You did it very good.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
It was very natural.
Thank you.
Well, thank you once again, man. I want you to know that everyone here wants to be here to salute what you done, what you continue to do, and keep doing this shit, man. Like, you're an inspiration to us all, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We love for you. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have him sign a couple of these things.
Yeah.
Sure. You got a pen? Oh, you got it.
By the way, that's his real CD.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he didn't go online. That mean his real tape.
I'll sign Tones, but I'll leave a space for him to sign because you should have him on.
Yeah.